Hello guys and welcome to another episode. The final episode of the year of the Flamish Experience. Today is going to be a little bit of a special episode because I'm going to be taking a break at the end of next week. So there will not be another episode. Till the end of January. So over a month you will have no Flamish. But least but not least, we'll have a fantastic show with a lot of people on the panel. I normally don't do this, but just because of the occasion, I was like, yeah, let's get this done. Let's get a lot of people in here, and let's introduce them one by one. So first of all, Timdog, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. I'm happy to be here for your last show of the year. We became friends on Xbox Live. You're a good dude, friends with clowns, and good Xbox community member. Happy to be here. I might not be here for the full show, but I definitely will be here for around an hour, and definitely going to talk Xbox. And it's a great panel. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate you having here, man. I do want to thank you for coming and joining us for some randomness as always. And the second guy on the panel that we have today is Steel. Steel Rain, is that how I say it correctly?
Yes, sir. It is I, and I am he, the one and only Steel Rain. I'm Flamish, man. I want to thank you and the panel for allowing me to come on and just being a part of the panel tonight and allowing the Rain to be a part of what you got going on. I know you're taking a little bit of a hiatus, but like Flamish said, man, we got exciting topics to get into. A lot of energy on the panel tonight, so hopefully we can end the year out for you guys. And other than that, man, let's get to it.
Okay, and then the next person on the panel, Mav Speculation, Fun Speculation. Sorry.
What's up, Flamish? I'll keep it short. You got a lot of people to get to. So how's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Of course, we have a lot of people today. So Clowns, my buddy, my buddy in crime, from the other channel. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, Flamish? aka the Belgium sensation, Mr. Candy Bowl Man. Thanks for having me on the show, and a huge thank you to Timdog for coming on for your last show of the year, and Steel Rain and everybody else here. So it's gonna be a good show, man. It's gonna be a good one.
Right, and then the next person on the show, Cerebral Paul. Welcome to the show.
I love it. Everybody's like, "Hey, how's it going? High energy." Then there's Matt going, "Hey, Flamish."
I am natural like that. So,
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Finally made the show. Nice to do the last show of the year. So yeah, let's we have no topics to talk about, but we'll be doing a lot of talking. So here we go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of talking for sure today. So it's gonna be interesting what's gonna come up because Halo's already been brought up in before the show. So it's gonna be interesting if we're gonna keep talking about that. So
But we're done with that. No, we already finished that. No.
Okay, we'll see what comes up. Lupa, AssassinLupa, my girlfriend from the UK. How are you?
How's it going, the Belgian John Travolta?
John Travolta. Oh.
Have you seen John Travolta lately? I don't know if.
No, I wouldn't go there. Yeah.
It's a Belgian chocolate with a soft centre.
Aw.
It's nice to be
Oh.
here. And 2020's been a bit dire, so let's end it with a bang.
Yes, that's what I mean by doing the show. So, and of course, my main panel member. You're doing good, lady. So, Anime Devil, welcome back.
Hello, one and all. Thank you for the guests for joining us. I'm really looking forward to this tonight. Yeah, all good. Thank you again, Flemish, for letting me darken your doors, as it were. Looking forward to an energetic show, shall we say?
Oh, yes, energetic for sure. And as you know, of course, there are no topics. We just start talking about something. In the background, you see my amazing gameplay of Titanfall 2 from this Saturday's community game night. I was surprisingly doing very well, I have to say. Didn't expect to do that, but oh well. But oh well. So yeah. I don't know. So let's first of all ask, what has everyone been playing? So let's start from right to left. So Timdog, what have you been playing?
I haven't been playing that much. Definitely would have liked to have played more, but I've been very busy. But I have been playing Yakuza. Started that and enjoying it. I got to like chapter 2, and Hive Busters. I have about one more chapter left to finish it, and I got a bunch of stuff that's on the docket. But I have to say, Hive Busters was a very pleasant surprise. Absolute stunning graphics, and I'm really happy to see where that team's going now. Obviously, you know about Rod's departure. Looks like they are picked themselves up, and they're going to be okay.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So Steel.
Hey man, well, I guess just like anybody, I was playing Cyberpunk, man. I finished it up. Had a fantastic game. I mean, other than all the flack that it's getting, man. I'm not saying that it's not well deserved. But the game definitely still needs work. There still needs some attention, some good old TLC, as I like to call it. And other than that, man, it's excellent game from top to bottom. The story was excellent. Had me enthralled in it since as soon as I started it. Other than that, I jumped back into Valhalla trying to get the story rocking and rolling on that, since I've about 60 hours in and hadn't done really any story content. And other than that, man, just getting some PvP in on the Destiny 2, because I gotta feed those competitive juices. And other than that, man, community game night was a blast over the weekend. And that's been about it, man.
Okay. Cool. Ma'am.
Oh man, yeah, I've been playing Tetris, Halo, Master Chief Collection. I've been trying to beat Gears 5. Thanks, Crispy Bomb, for trying to help me get unstuck in the campaign because I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to send Jack. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And shout out to people who played Master Chief Collection with us last night. Back from Dead, Lupa. Who else was there? Psychonauts was there. That was a good time.
Okay. Cool. Clowns.
I think you know this, Flamish.
Cyberpunk.
My game of the year. I'm like 130 hours into Cyberpunk.
Do you know what's funny about Clowns with Cyberpunk? In the beginning, when I was so excited about the game, I was like, Clowns, are you gonna play this? Nah, I'm not really excited for this game. I don't know. Like, I'm probably not gonna play this. And I started the game. I played for maybe 5 hours or 10 hours maybe. And Clown's like, oh, I'm so addicted that I was 130 hours in.
And then Clown's just like, I'm 60 hours in. What's up?
So funny.
Nah, I've seen Clowns rocking and rolling on that shit, man. Three deep, man. You've been killing it on there now on the Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I've been telling me left and right how to play the game.
And he's hoping to get past the prologue soon.
Let's hope he has been through the prologue. Okay, so Paul, Cerebral Paul. Tell me.
Lots of PGA golf 2K21. Back today, I was doing more Titanfall to level up my Titan so I can get the bigger bad boy. And a lot of Cyberpunk, and that's about it. But I've been doing a lot of it. So.
Okay. Goodbye.
I actually finished the story in Cyberpunk. I'm doing all the side mission stuff.
I've been playing Valhalla, obviously, and enjoying that, and mixing it up with a bit of Immortals Phoenix Rising. Been enjoying that, and playing some Gears and some Halo, and other multiplayers with my friends. Been having a right laugh. In great games.
Okay, and this is the last time I'm gonna.
On a great console.
Great console?
On a great console.
Yes, there's always a great console out there. Doesn't matter which one you want. So they're both great, or actually all
Yeah.
three, you can say.
Mm.
So Animated Evil, tell me.
I have been trying, and I say trying, to play Dragon Quest.
Ooh.
Obviously, through that's a great game. It's definitely me. However, at the moment, I just keep because it's it's the holidays. The kids are off school. I just keep getting pulled into a multiplayer game, then another multiplayer game, then another multiplayer game. But so my attention has been on Dragon Quest. I really like it. It's my first experience of Dragon Quest ever. I love the fact that you can change your playstyle. So it is a turn-based RPG, yet you can choose whether to do the full team or just one person. It's really good.
What do you mean one person?
So you can in your team of people, you can select just to battle as yourself, and the other guy's automatic, or you can choose in the menu to have them all turn-based, a la Final Fantasy VII back in the day. Really good.
Huh.
And Dragon Age was like that too, where you could.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is really good. I mean, it's
I'm enjoying.
Yeah, like I said last time, I don't really like the turn-based stuff. So if there is an option to basically almost switch it off, maybe I'll give it a try.
yeah. You're from that different generation, Flamish. You need about another 10 years on you to really enjoy the turn-based stuff. Back in the day, that's all we had because they couldn't do the other style, right? So
it's just a change of pace.
Yeah,
you just to slow it down and take your time and look the video I've got on screen right now. It's just it's all in, isn't it? And a lot of games like that these days. But to go back to something a little slower, it's really good.
I like
a lot of
turn-based
strategy.
You can stop for a second and think about what you're doing.
Yeah. You sometimes you have to like Final Fantasy VII and a lot of those games back in the day. You had to plan your moves like 3 moves ahead, to beat some of those bosses, right? You couldn't just like, hey, let's just kind of hit whatever. No, you had to think about it. Okay, I need to put this guy to sleep. Then I need to cast this resurrection spell or use a Phoenix down. Then or whatever. It was awesome.
I think one of the sorry, Paul.
Sorry, XCOM games are very much like that as well, and that's why I like them.
Yeah.
Strategy, but it's also based on you have to plan stuff out. Do I take this guy out first, or do I move over here?
Well, there's still strategy involved in other type games. It's just the turn-based stuff that I don't like. It's too slow.
Yeah, you just don't have as much time to think about it, So the strategy is more about skill and thinking on the fly as opposed to like really deeply planning your moves ahead of time, right? It's just a little bit of a difference there.
I think back in the day, Emerald Weapon in Final Fantasy VII took 2.5 hours to beat. I think something along those lines. It was just stupid.
Is that a boss or something?
Yeah. It was one of the special bosses.
Okay. Is it also in the new remake? Or is that later on in the game?
I haven't played the remake because it's not on Xbox yet, but
I'm still waiting.
well, if they're going the way the episodic is, I've heard of, you might get to Emerald Weapon, I don't know, 10 years from now.
That's basically the way it's going to go.
See, there's that 10 years you need, Flamish. It'll be right there ready for you.
Yeah, the 10-year plan. I mean, it's everywhere. It's even waiting for games.
But like, even though the Final Fantasy VII remake, even as good as it is, it doesn't capture that old turn-based style that they had. I think Dragon Quest is probably the closest thing right now. But that and tactics games, they have the same kind of strategy.
Is tactics.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually part of it I can't get by.
Okay. So I have a question for the whole panel because I'm just like, we know it's the end of the year. I just want to go out with a bang a little bit, and I want to know, what is your fondest memory from 2020 in gaming? Like the best memory you had in gaming. And let me go first to Timdog, of course, because he can probably stay only an hour. So I don't want to leave this.
You put me on the spot, and I have to think of this year. It's been such a crazy year.
Indeed.
What were the big releases this year? I'm trying to think. Xbox didn't really have a big release, right? It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, I'd say Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Cyberpunk.
were some of the bigger ones. Cyberpunk, yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fallen Order.
Well, that came out last year, didn't it?
Yeah, it came out last
yeah,
year. That was actually it. Yeah,
Came out at the end of the year, though. So I mean,
Yeah, very end.
that's correct.
Honestly, the
and
biggest
Outer
thing
Worlds too, wasn't it? Outer Worlds was this year, wasn't
Yeah, Outer Worlds was I believe at the end of 2019. But honestly, the biggest memory for me this year, and like I said, it's been a crazy year just even looking back. But just playing the Xbox Series X, and while it didn't have that crazy title, just experiencing the games and just the fluidity of the system and what's to come in the future. Really was the highlight for me. Like playing, I remember playing since somebody mentioned Titanfall. If you play Titanfall, it's absolutely crazy looking on Series X. Or if you play some of the enhanced games and you went back to them, like Ori in the 6K version, or the 120 frames per second. Just overall, just experiencing the system for me was the biggest highlight. Such a big build up, and just the build up towards the year. And I really feel that Xbox and Sony both delivered. These consoles are amazing, and the future is just going to be awesome. But just how, like I said, how just experiencing Xbox now and looking back throughout the year, I can't go back to Xbox One X or whatever, just because it's just a different experience. The speed, everything about it is just such a night and day experience. So for me, it's just been playing those games. I've been enjoying some of the launch titles like Yakuza. But overall, that was the big takeaway from this year. And like I said, it's been a rough year. I remember in when the COVID hit, everyone was playing games too, and it was nice to see, 180 people online every night. But it's been a big year for gaming and overall, and I just think it's only going to get better for us as gamers. It's just going to be crazy next 6-7 years.
Would you say, and I don't want the rest to chime in if they want to, would you say that this is one of the greatest years for gaming itself?
100%.
In a long time?
I think it was definitely, it was, you know what it was? I think it was a realization of gaming this year that this is something that, people made fun of gamers, especially I'm 44 years old. So my whole life, for the last 10 years, people were saying, you're still playing video games, my peers. And now it's it's kind of more accepted. And I think people look at gaming on a different level now, and I think that's the biggest thing for gaming. I think if you're going to say what happened, I think there's been a fundamental change in the way people look at gaming and its acceptance. I believe I posted an article about 3 days ago. Gaming made more money than Hollywood and and all of that combined. TV and Hollywood did not outpace gaming. This is the first time in history, and I think you're going to see that trend. I think when we all said that gaming's going to take over, well, we're almost here. It's something that people played, and so many people who were either against it or never gave it a try because of COVID, and And here we are. It's like, you know, we can't. There's people. I don't know if everyone got their console on this panel, but I mean, you're talking about you're not going to be able to get a console until April. That's the type of demand that you have for these next gen consoles. So I think overall, from that take, it's been a very special year for gaming.
Let me just say to that real quick. I think a lot of that has to do, and this is going to sound odd, but it's probably the one good thing to come out of COVID is it brought gaming to a more mainstream. Because hell, everybody was stuck at home. What are we going to do? You know. Well, here's Junior's Xbox. He didn't want me to play with him. Now Junior can't get on his Xbox. His dad's on it all the time. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of just to the backpack off of what Tim was saying, and to kind of answer your question also as we work our way from right to left, if that's what you wanted to do.
Well, not really.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, well, I guess just to jump in there then. More so, I do feel like this year has been a very, very important year for the gaming community, mainly because, like Tim said, man, I mean, I'm 28 myself, you know what I'm saying? And I even, like Tim was saying, even 10 years ago, for you to be a gamer, man, there's a stigma behind it, and there's still a stigma behind it. And this year has really highlighted gaming in a way that I feel like a lot of people who might have doubted it or said it's a waste of time or whatever else the case might be, kind of paid a little more attention to it. Probably put their ears to the ground a little more. Started paying attention to some things they might have not have been paying attention to before. And it's all things that are important. We've had so many releases this year. There's been so many ups and downs in the hill. One of the greatest things to happen this year is the release of these consoles. The fact that we're finally getting to a point where gamers are actually experiencing what next gen is about. That 60 FPS, giving you the feel of the game, giving you the true essence of what gaming is about. And a lot of people still do not understand that to this day. I know it gets downplayed. Oh, 30 FPS is this, that, and I know a lot of people don't understand it until you experience it. And a lot of the time you'll run into people where it's like, you know, they've probably experienced 60 FPS, but as the common person, it's not going to know the terminology for it. So it's like, hey, man, did that game feel a little smoother? They're like, hell yeah, that shit felt perfect. And that's what we have to get to, getting everybody to a similar level, to a similar understanding, so that we can progress in gaming. Because I feel like over the last 5 years, man, we kind of been stagnant. Honestly, over this last gen, we've been kind of stagnant. Yeah, things have improved. Graphics have gotten better. Things have started to look a little tighter. The resolutions are getting to a really solid place now. Everything's across the board looking good. Now it's more about the feeling. And with everything that's going on this year, I feel like there's been a lot of attention to that. And hopefully we can just keep that ball rolling, man. Because as far as it looks, like Tim said, man, and many other people have said, this has been one of those years for gaming that I don't think anybody could have expected. And that's just because of, you know, unfortunately what we're going through in the world, man. So
let me just point out real quick that apparently Flamish had to use his thongs to get some candy. I don't know what that's all about.
Well, if you look on the screen now and you look at the things, I just can't reach my candy bowl without, so I had to basically get this out. I was going to go with to get this on me because otherwise I can't reach the candy.
Hey, I always started cracking up as soon as I saw it, but he was talking. I'm like, oh my god.
I was just like, you're never using your underpants to pick up your sweets, really?
Well, I didn't know what the word was.
Well, we know what your idea of a thong is now, don't we?
He had to pull out his thongs.
Well, let me say this. I want to give a shout out to my candy bowl because it's almost empty.
You gotta fill it up, man.
Never a good thing.
And the thing is, I will probably take in less sugar from next year, because today was another day that I felt really tired, and just because of all the sugar that I'm taking in, I think it's better that I just lay off the candy.
I definitely
and get a little bit like a cookie in the evening or something, but not the candy that I normally take in, I would say.
If you have extras you want to get rid of, I'll DM you my address.
Well, this is the last. Like, this candy bowl is almost empty, guys. It's just like it's only the bottom now. So if you look at last week's stream, you can see how much candy I actually ate. It's a lot.
Anyway, let me answer the question really quick because mine's a little. Everybody's talking about gaming, and this is going to sound like almost like pandering, but my biggest thing for this year and the best thing that happened to me was starting to get involved in podcasting with Wilmy and those guys first, and then meeting all of you as we went along. It's actually changed my life quite a bit in a positive way, mostly. Clowns. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, without it, I would have been more alone than I am. So I'm glad I found you all. And that's my big memory for this year, is I got more involved in a bigger community.
Word, man, and that's what it's about, man. Gosh, dog, that I can't explain to you when people say you know, tell their stories like that, man. It always strikes a chord with me, man. Because again, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even today, man, it's such a hard battle. Even just trying to tell people, hey, man, I'm a gamer, you know.
Well, by the way, you guys I'm 44. I'm 24. Shut up. I'm 54. I'm old man gamer, you know.
And there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, you do see that beard in your picture, though, so I can't believe that.
I've told some of you before, you know, if it wasn't for guys like me, you wouldn't be playing the games you got.
Is that how you look in real life? Like your picture from your head on the guy with the guitar?
Oh yeah, the guy with the guitar is Jerry Garcia, but that's my head.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah, Pyro did that. Pyro's Playhouse did that.
Hey.
It's all right. My avatar's also in my head. It's fine.
Well, you should get that checked out, Enemy Devil. Especially with that long of a tongue. I mean, with that long of a tongue, I don't know what you do with that, but
leave it there.
Let's just say that Gene Simmons is also very popular because of the size of his
tongue. Ooh. We know for what reason.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go that far.
Hey, we can keep rapping it if you want.
Oh man. Yeah. So, anyone else have something to say about that? Game
all I want to say is that to Cerebral Paul's comment, gaming, you know, more this year and having fun with everybody, and also like wrecking Paul on Wreckfest is a lot of fun. I'm just saying, aim for Paul.
Everybody does. And just remember, when we play Among Us, I'm always suspect. So,
I think we're all sus.
Well, I do want to say I'm
not
stopping with gaming next month. It's not going away from gaming. So we can still play games and we can still play Among Us. So don't be shy to invite me in there. Come on.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll be still
My
on
takeaway
Twitter
from
and
this.
stuff. So. But yeah, Lupa, do you have something to add?
Yeah, apart from the Series X, obviously, I mean, the quick resume is a life changer and it's great fun. Apart from that, it was getting my LG CX because it does so much better. It's amazing. Yeah. It's like being in the game, or it's like watching real life instead of an actual game on a TV.
Hey.
I just love it.
yeah, I could
Wouldn't
never
live
go back.
without it
I
now.
think if I had to go back to my Xbox One, my One X, I'd be like, oh, this is painful.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's that the CX adds so much more to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different experience.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
I am an LG proponent. I am an OLED. I have 6 OLEDs. So if you I have 1080p OLED, LG 9100. But yeah, if you game on an OLED and you haven't gamed on an OLED, it is quite the experience. Just everything about it. For gaming, just it accentuates everything. So definitely, if you have, give it a try. If you can have one TV, and they're coming down in prices. They've always been expensive, but yeah, the CX. I have the CX as well, and phenomenal TV.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Part of the OLED lords.
Yes. I think I'm one of
Hey.
the guys that started that name in the first place, but I'm not sure.
Colt Eastwood.
Well, it's actually OLED, but people just started calling it OLED.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, OLED is
Colt-
easier than LOAD. No, I said it wrong already. See, that's what I mean.
Yeah, difficult.
OLED.
OLED. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's why you just call it OLED.
That's why I call it OLED. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah. Just keep it
OLED,
simple.
yeah.
So, yeah, Animated Evil, what's your
Yes.
greatest moment of gaming this year?
See, I'm not going to use a greatest moment, to be fair. What I'm going to mention, the fact is, the push towards Game Pass that Microsoft have put out this year has completely changed my gaming habits, shall we say. Because because of the push and the fact that there's hundreds of games to play, I've played so many games that I would have just gone straight past and not even thought about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like for example, I was playing last week. I was playing The Tourist. Ordinarily, that I'd just nope, not interested. A silly little indie game, but it was so
too.
good,
It
so
is good. Very
and
good.
It's changed my gaming habits for the better, I think. And of course, that I'm pushing my children to also use just I want a game. Have a look on Game Pass. Find something you want. And there's something there for everybody. There's never a moment where you think, I've got nothing to play.
Especially with the addition of EA. I mean, that was,
Yes,
that was a
yeah.
big grab.
And
Agreed.
if you, even if you look at a game, you think, oh, I wouldn't like that. Try it. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. And that for me has been my gaming year this year. Just dipping into something that I've never played before. Like I said earlier, I'm playing Dragon Quest. I've never played the game before. If it wasn't in Game Pass, it'd have just flown me by
Fact.
completely.
Same
Right.
for me too. I'm going to try that game because I've been VJ recommended it, so I'll give it a go. Even though I'm not a fan of turn-based either.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, also, we got some people in the chat, and Xbox Pope just popped in. So,
Xbox. Oh.
yeah, Pope. If you
Going
want
on,
to
man?
join the chat, of course, if you want to join the panel, just DM me. Also, Psychonauts8, Caitlin, and someone else, maybe? I was looking. Oh, yeah, Crazy Greek Dude, of course.
Daisy Greek.
Yeah, we cannot forget about him. So welcome all for watching, of course. Also, if someone knows how to get this damn puzzle to open the thing, because I don't understand. There's some numbers on the screen there that I just can't figure out what to do with. If you played this game before, just let me know.
What is it you're playing?
Well, that is Forager. It's on Game Pass.
Okay.
It's a beautiful little game. Basically like crafting, mining type stuff. It's really fun. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because it's more of an experience, I would say. But I'm stuck. I just need to get more gold and basically buy more islands at this point. But
Go and mine more then.
I'm mining like crazy, Lupa. There's nothing I'm doing
Oh.
except.
Go find the gold and mine that.
Well, I got a lot of gold. That's the problem. I just need to get more coins. That's all. But yeah, I don't know what to do with this. Like this is the part where I'm stuck. Like I don't know what this island does. There's some numbers there. Let me go, of course. I do want to join in, of course, with the conversation. So my biggest point for gaming, of course, is the new console. I never had a console launch before. Happened to me. Like at launch, I never owned a console. So it was really great to actually see all the excitement the build up towards the new console, and then getting it in your hands just actually 1 or 2 days after launch. I forgot already. It was the day after or the day after that. But it's been so great to see all the people so happy, all the excitement. If you've seen all the podcasts back then when they were all talking about new consoles and stuff, it's so fun to see all that stuff. And yeah, I got a little bit of negativity there, of course, with the consoles, like it's not working and this and that, and then we got some problems. But overall, it was really great to see just all the happiness going around. And then it's a little bit sad, of course, for the people that don't have the console yet. I'm still waiting for my PS5. I did pre-order it through email now in my local retailer called Media Market. So we'll see. Normally at the middle of January I will get one, maybe. So we'll see. But yeah, this was the greatest moment for gaming for me. And while we're on the talk of greatest moments, I do want to say the greatest moment in general of 2020. First of all, my girlfriend's gonna move in, of course. Hey. So that's my greatest moment. But the second of all, and this is what I want to tell, I started in YouTube in May in 2020. And it's been nothing but the most fun I ever had in gaming, learning to know people, especially to you clowns, and Graphic God. Cannot thank Jay enough for giving me a chance to come on the show, and then being a panel member of Retro Renegades, of course. So it's always been going up and up, and we'll see how far the limit goes. So I do want to bring this forward to the rest of the panel members, like Timdog. What's your greatest moment in 2020 overall?
I think I answered this. Just the next gen consoles. Just
okay.
When they hit and having played them and the experience and just overall. I loved Ori. Ori was a great game. I haven't gotten around to. I got to play some of the Sony exclusives. The Last of Us that I definitely want to try out. Just trying to still get a PlayStation 5, but just overall, I think we all touched on it. Just how gaming itself has propelled itself on a different level, and it's just great to see.
Okay, what's the first game you're gonna play on your PlayStation 5?
Probably The Last of Us 2, or I want to try out the controller, so I definitely would play the game Astrobot.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed.
Astro Playroom.
Yeah, I think they did a great job with the controller, and I wonder if Xbox is going to follow suit with an Elite version, doing the similar things.
Personally, I don't want to have a controller I need to blow into. Okay.
Well, that I don't care about blowing into, but the force back triggers are very cool.
Yes,
definitely.
Also, Cerebral Paul, you're a little bit wrong there. It's not that you have to blow; you can sing as well. As long as it picks up sound, it's good enough. So I'm just being like, "Ma."
So we get the Belgium sensation and the Flamish experience all in one.
Yes, that's correct.
And the happy dance.
And the happy dance.
Do you not feel, Tim, that the triggers are a little bit gimmicky?
I honestly have to try them out. I think that I don't think that they're going to get a huge amount of support, but I want to try them out. I think it looks cool. I definitely could see it going bad after a while. I think that you have had some of those complaints. If I'm going to prefer one, the new Xbox controller, even though they made very small changes, it's like Nirvana in your hands. I've never the controller, the way the sticks are placed. Xbox is obviously my number one, but one of the things I do like about the PlayStation 5 is that it's the controller. It's different, and I'd like to give it a try. But I think that Xbox has nailed the comfortability level on. I mean, like I said, I think we all can think just that thing in your hands. Whatever they did, what the small changes that they did, really seemed to go a long way. I mean, it's just the comfortability is off the charts.
Absolutely. And the low latency, Tim.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've talked to enough people about those haptic triggers that they say that it's the real deal. Like, it's not really gimmick. It actually improves the experience. The other thing is, like, with the PlayStation controllers, like, it's always, for me, kind of been a weakness for them. You know, where, you know, I think form factor and based on the joysticks being placed how they are is still a little bit of a weakness. But just the fact that they improved it dramatically is a huge bonus for when I get my PlayStation, because it's bigger, you know, it's more, it's going to feel less like a cheap toy, you know, like as those controllers kind of fell for me before. So I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, PlayStation controllers have always been an issue for me because of my hand controls. I can't use them. I've never been able to use a PlayStation controller for any length of time or very well.
Do you think that it's going to get very annoying when your gun jams when you're just about to kill somebody?
I think it depends on the developers and how they implement the feature. Like,
I think it depends.
it's just going to be another tool that they have at their disposal, right? And if they make stupid gimmicky stuff, then yes, it'll be annoying. But if they implement it in good ways, then it can definitely be a positive, right? So, racing games, I think, could see a benefit as well as shooters. But if I'm pushing the trigger and all of a sudden my gun jams and I sprain my index finger because because I'm shooting, you know, then I might be a little pissed off, you know. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll be smarter than that. You know?
But I think you'll be pissed off as well.
I couldn't imagine using it in sorry, Lupa, but I couldn't imagine using that in Gears of War 5 and missing the active reload. And
I think like that's up to game design, really, not as much as the controller. Like that's stuff that like we kind of like joke about and you know, but I don't think it's like an actual real legitimate concern. You know what I mean? To have just because it's just another piece of technology that can be implemented in certain ways. And it's up to the developers to implement it in the ways that makes the most sense. You know?
All I would say is as long as the user can disable it, let's say you love it, but I don't, or, you know, as long as I can
I think you can disable it. I do think you can. So that is very true.
I do want to say
some people, I mean, like in the first playing Call of Duty, I think that you wouldn't want that to be playing competitively.
No, single player though, you know, it could definitely be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
I think it's a good idea. I mean, Xbox. I always thought that they underutilized their features last gen, and it was funny because you know nobody paid attention to them. But they had the rumble and the haptics and the triggers, like playing Forza or NBA. It is pretty cool. You know, the one good thing about Xbox too is that they have a lot of creativity with the Elite, and I don't think this is going to be the last Elite because of the way they sell. So I could definitely see them incorporating some type of stuff, you know, for that. So if you really would want it, you can have it because Xbox seems to have pretty much everying. And
I love the Elite too. The hair triggers are
hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're getting the patch for the zero latency too in a month or so.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be the exact same thing though.
But it'll be closer.
It'll definitely be closer, and that's going to make a big difference. I guess since we're talking about it, I mean, I personally feel like the controller itself. I mean, it's great that Sony has actually made a difference and actually put out a decent controller this time to come around. Seems like. Personally, from everything that I've seen about it, because I don't have one personally, but I also don't play with vibration. I also love the trigger lock system. The system that they have in place for their controller, I'm going to say it's gimmicky only because it's not going to be for everybody, and that's fine. that's just my personal feel on it. The other thing too, and I feel like it's something that a lot of people just kind of overlook. Can we realize how often controllers, how long controllers last? And after our everyday use or whatever the case might be, I'd hate to try to pretend like I haven't had RB buttons that have broke, or I've had buttons that have stick, or I've had to completely take apart my controller, and for a controller to go completely wonky, or your right trigger, left trigger to go completely useless because the adaptive trigger is not working anymore, or it locking in place, or whatever the case might be, and now you got to break down your controller or get a whole new controller. I just feel like it just adds on more, for lack of a better term, BS. It's cool. I've what it's doing. It's very intuitive. That's cool and all. But for games like, I feel like what they were going for is to give you that feeling in the shooters and stuff like that from those gun jams, and just to give you a closer feeling to it. But honestly, at that point, you might as well just give me, like we used to have back in the day, Nintendo, like Duck Hunt and stuff. Like, just give me the actual gun. And let me play like that. You know what I'm saying at that point. So
I think for most gamers too, you experience it, you think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But after a while, it's not essential.
Yeah.
I think what you would all want essentially from a controller is to feel the most comfortable, and that's where I believe Xbox leads the way. I mean, like I said, I think Ashton was in agreement. The controller, for whatever reason, is just so comfortable. I mean, it just sits in your hands, and you forget about it, and it feels different than the Xbox One X controller, and they did little tweaks there. But and I love the D-pad now. They did a really good job for their stock controller, and Xbox always had that advantage. So it's pretty funny seeing people propping up the PlayStation controller when nobody would ever talk about that. It was only you could talk about games, and that's the only thing that mattered. But these little things do matter. And
personally, I like the vibration, especially in shooters, because it's another way for me to know, okay, I'm getting hit.
Oh, for sure.
And if it's programmed right, you can even tell what side you're getting hit from by the way the controller moves. So,
Yeah.
I guess the most important thing, I mean, the option. Again, we're moving into a generation where it's just they're giving us so many options these days. For Xbox to be going in the direction that they're going, it's excellent. It's more options than we've ever had before, more opportunities than we've ever had before, and it's just opening the floodgates, man. It's finally knocking down the dam, knocking down the in between wall, and saying, hey, man, let's really. Let's really dig deep into what gaming can be. That's why I personally like what Xbox is doing, the vision that they have. Sony's vision hasn't been very clear to me. I guess that can also add on for what, as we're talking about the year or whatever. The vision hasn't been very clear where it has been with Xbox.
No,
and that's my concern. Because again, I'm the guy. A God of War or another Horizon or whatever the case, that's not going to make me buy a PlayStation, personally. What made me buy a PlayStation 4 last gen was a game called Gundam Breaker 3, which a lot of people probably aren't going to be familiar with if you're not a Gundam fan. But because of that game, I bought Spider-Man. Because of that game, I bought God of War. Because I was there already. But I'm also, be honest with you, it's like I'm just... it just goes back to the option, man. Everybody has their own things that they like. I think from this point forward, we just got to pay attention, be smart consumers, as we've been seeing with everything that's been going on. Pay attention to what everybody got going on, and just try to be as supportive as you can, man.
absolutely.
So what was the game? What was the game? Gundam Breaker.
Gundam Breaker 3.
And what's the game about? Or
it's kind of like if you're pretty familiar with Dynasty Warriors, it's kind of like that, but has more of like a story to it. All the missions are broke down. You basically go through and build your own Gundams through pieces. And it's all random pieces. Like you can get legs from one Gundam, or you get arms from another one, and they all have their own, I guess, abilities. They all have their own specialties, their own stats, and everything else. So you can mix and match and really create your own. You know what I'm saying? Mech. And that's what made it so great. And there was so much content there for it, where it's just like, oh, you get to the end of the story and it's like, oh, that's it. No, it's like, okay, now let's play the story again, but you're going to play it on a harder difficulty so you can get the better parts. You got to get the perfect grade parts, because you're moving up from the HG high grade parts to master grade parts to perfect grade parts. So it gave you a whole system. And me being a Gundam fan, it was one of those games that it's not on Xbox, and to my knowledge, it's always only ever been on the PlayStation platform. And it was a Japan originated game. So even now, you can't get it in the States. I had to order it off of Amazon with the English subtitles to be able to play it on my PlayStation. But it's games like that, it's like everybody thinks like, oh, it's these games are going to make these people buy this system. And it's like, no, I don't think so. There's always that other rule. But yeah, anyway, I feel like
no, it's a good point. I mean, I remember a lot of people were, I mean, myself included, I would think that they got the PlayStations was because of the show. And I'm a big baseball fan, and a lot of people I've heard say that they only got the system because of that. So I think this year Xbox might get the show. I know that they had that deal, so it's either going to be next year or this year. So that was a big deal for Xbox, and I think overall just to get the show because of the Major League license.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think then, just as a thought, when you said that it's not a system seller kind of thing, do you think that the fact that Perfect Dark is coming out and that being generally a N64 GoldenEye sort of thing, do you think that'll opt people in?
I think for people that know about it, sure. But for I think the typical consumer, it's going to be more so. It's going to be something that they're interested in. A Perfect Dark to me is one of those nostalgic series. It's not something that's going to, like Halo, for example, that's going to pull any and everybody. Like you could put Master Chief in Fortnite, for example, like they did, and know that it's going to get recognition. Where if you put Diana Dark in Fortnite, they're going to be like, "Who is this girl?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's harder to convert people anyway these days because there's so much good stuff on all the platforms. So no matter which platform you have, you're going to be happy. So it's more of a cumulative thing. Like, do you feel like, hey, I'm missing out by not having this, right? And if you ultimately, if you look at what they have on Xbox coming in 2021, 2022, 2023 with Game Pass, the overall value that's going to be there with Game Pass, and the people are gonna buy into that because it's too good of a deal to pass up on if you're into gaming. So it's a cumulative thing more than it is going to be any one game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's what I was going to say. Gaming value is where Xbox is, definitely.
Exactly. And the variety.
Variety, money. Like if you've got 3 children and they want a console each, £250 in English, $300 for each child, say Christmas, birthday, and then you can just £1 for them to access Game Pass and have like 200 games with EA Play in there as well. It's just too good an opportunity to turn up.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely making a lot of people, like Cerebral said, it's making you look at gaming differently. And I know as much as people are saying, oh, Sony's doing something different, or they're going to be doing something different. Eventually, they're going to bend the knee to it too, and they're going to have a similar service. So is it going to be exactly the same? No. But one of my biggest issues with Sony that I feel like a lot of people also look over is, and I don't want to turn this into I'm trying to blame. I know people give Xbox a lot of flack for, you don't have the games, but again, a lot of people say this also is I like to look at what's on the surface of it, and Xbox has always had variety. The Xbox has just been missing first party games. We've always had multiplayer or variety. If you want different kinds of games, we have that over here. Whereas for Sony, and it's always been this way. If it wasn't fighting games, there was third person action games. And what variety is that? What variety is there in that? And for people, and it may just be because of us as gamers or whatever the case. But for people to be so acceptance of one style of game and to put so much pressure on people for, if you don't have this style of game, then you're not successful. It's so outlandish and so wild to me. Because there's so many different types of games, especially when you compare from where we came from, not even that long ago. So
for sure. And I'm older than all of you, and I can tell you that the variety is astounding now because. The only thing I think is maybe missing, which we discussed in game night, was kart racing, like a Crash Bandicoot in Game Pass, or the kart one,
or All Stars
Sonic,
from
or
Sonic
All Stars,
Yep.
Any of those, just a kart racer would be fun. But the majority of games are covered there, and I think that is exceptional. And going back, also think exceptional about the controller is the fact that Xbox did not go there. Thank goodness that they stuck with not having to purchase another $60 controller because your battery's dead, but actually being able to put some rechargeable batteries in it. Was I was so pleased that they did not go there. Because I was like, oh no, please don't do that.
Yeah, that's still a weakness for me on PlayStation's controller. And a lot of people think it's a plus, but just from if you play a lot of games and you play a ton of games, then you've dealt with the problems that presents. And I think that going the way that Xbox has is, even though to a lot of people it seems like a cheaper route or whatever, it just makes the most sense.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy to me, Mav? Sorry to interrupt, Lupa, but what's crazy to me, Mav, is that people always downplay. Oh, you got to put batteries in your Xbox controller. And I just want to make a quick side note. The only time I haven't had a problem with a battery inside of a controller that I cannot take out is the Elite controller. Is the Elite series controllers. I have not had battery problems with those controllers. Period. That's me. That's me personally. Now. The ability to put batteries in a controller, I feel like it's kind of slept on because at the end of the day, batteries still exist and batteries will continue to exist for at least another 20 years. I don't see batteries just magically disappearing. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know why you think we're so far in the future that we don't need batteries anymore. We're still making games for last gen consoles. We're not far enough yet. We're still trying to improve on our systems. We're still trying to improve on all our hardware and things like that. And I feel like that should be more of the focus. What have we improved on? What has gotten better? And where can we go? So.
In
Definitely.
one form or fashion, actually batteries will always be there. Like if it's not rechargeable, then that's inside something that you have to plug into something else. I mean,
USB.
Well, I just mean as far as taking the actual cylinder batteries out or replacing them and everything else. So
I just think the battery life in itself is the main issue there.
That's a fact.
Well, actually not really, because I have the Enderloop Pro, and those batteries actually last for 25.
No, I'm talking about on the other version where you have to have where the battery's built into the controller. That's the battery life has always been an issue there for me because you gotta, if you forget to plug in the other controller and have one ready to go, and you just don't sit within 6 feet of the console or however long the cord is, which they don't even give you a cord now when you buy a controller, right?
And then
so you gotta have one, but that's not a huge thing. I would assume most people do, but if you forget to have that extra controller ready to go and you're having a long gaming session, you're going to be screwed, and that's happened to me numerous times. Whereas on this version,
the way
I can just pop in some batteries.
The way I've worked around that is because I have USB connectors everywhere. I can sit far away from my Xbox and plug into a USB and charge up my controller.
For sure.
Power to it.
Mm.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I
if you-
have a separate.
Batteries have become a
Oh.
non-issue for me personally.
Word.
For me, it's also a non-issue. I mean, I do have a lot of batteries laying around with the Enloop Pro. But on the other side, I do have a lot of plugs where I can put stuff in and then basically, yeah, just recharge them whenever I want.
And I will
or have
say-
them wired up. It's not a problem.
Yeah, but I don't want a wire.
And I will say the Elite 2 built-in battery is really nice. It lasts
Oh yeah, the Elite 2
20
battery.
something hours. You know,
There's been times where I can go if I'm playing 6 hours a night, maybe I can go three maybe 4 days without
Yeah.
having to charge it.
But those PlayStation 4 batteries and those controllers sucked.
Yeah, no, they're not great.
I'm just going to be real. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I
no,
had
that's
issues with that damn
That's my biggest
controller,
complaint.
like 2.5 hours, maybe. You know what I mean?
wow,
sure.
that's not good.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
Oh,
And
That's
it's
why I like my rechargeable batteries, because you bung them in and they'll last 20, 24 hours. And I've got 3 of them that go in a hard charger. So the double pack ones, I've forgotten the name of them. They're all called Blue or whatever they're called. I don't know.
Blue?
I've forgotten the name.
Yeah,
Blue,
I'm very similar, to be fair.
But I just
I have
pop
8.
one out and pop new one in, and it's just so easy and cheap.
I do the double A's, to be fair. I've got a smart charger on my TV unit with 8 AA batteries in.
Yeah, that's it.
And-
Smart
That's
charger.
Same
but
thing
it's-
I do. I just use rechargeable AA's.
yeah, exactly.
And as soon as one of the kids comes down, my batteries are dead. Well, there's 8 charged, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mine are like they're double A's, but they're a double pack, like 2
Ah, yeah.
sealed together. Do you
Yeah.
get what I mean? So
Yeah, I
I've
know
got
what you mean,
Three,
yeah.
3 of those, so I've always got a spare, and it's just so easy. Flick the back off, chuck them in, put it back on, away you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
I think it's pretty
And at
easy.
£24,
these days.
that's not expensive, is it?
Nah.
I've
Nah,
had it for like
no.
a year or more.
And if you have got a rechargeable battery pack in the back of your thing, the moment you're playing a multiplayer game and you can't find that cable,
yeah, that's,
good God, where's the cable? Where's the cable? Everyone's looking for it in the house. It's like when
And
you
I'd
lose
have
the
to
TV
have,
remote.
That's a good point, actually.
Okay, but-
it is more of an issue when you're playing multiplayer than it is single player. Because single player, you can just pause it, go take your time. Like, okay, it's not an issue. But if you're in the middle of a multiplayer game, you're scrambling. You want to get those batteries in your controller
Yeah.
fast. You know.
Yeah,
And that's what I would have to have a 10-foot blinking lead as well, which I can't be arsed with that. Leads all over. The dog would get on it. I know I'd be there playing, and the dog would walk through and take it with him. It's like I just
Oh. It's like, you want to play? You want to play?
yeah. It's like, whoa, there goes the controller on the dog's tail.
Would y'all
One of the
say that
reasons I
you know
don't have animals.
the whole design around the PlayStation actually has kind of been more built around single player? If you really think about it, you know,
Yeah.
It always has been this way, right?
yeah, their focus always seems to be single.
Yeah, they.
But they're going to have to change. They're going to have to change now, seeing what Xbox
I
has done
don't know.
and
It's
the options.
It's hard.
They're gonna
It's hard because PlayStation is Sony themselves are still on such a they're still sitting on the throne, you know. Other than Wii, let's keep that out of the conversation, or other than Nintendo, let's keep them out. But as far as like between, I mean, let's just be real. But between Xbox and PlayStation, I mean, PlayStation doesn't have anything to prove. I mean, what do they need to prove to you? You're going to buy.
Well, they're going to be worried about Game Pass, whether people say they
sure.
are or are not. That's the thing they're going to have to figure out, because the value proposition over time will grow too despairingly in one category versus the other. As far as the style of games, I don't know if they have to change that much, because they have their fan base that loves the kind of games that they make, and they're going to keep buying them, right?
Yeah, but on the other side of it, though, I mean, I guess that's where also the third parties come in. But again, when you, like, for example, like this release, you have Spider-Man, and you had Demon's Souls. After that, what are you playing? Third party, right?
Well, I have
Yeah, of
something to
course.
interject there.
So,
My son, who's been a PlayStation fan all his life, I always had an Xbox and a PlayStation in my house, and he went PlayStation route. He spoke to me yesterday, and he told me, I am so bored with PlayStation. There's only about 10 games worth playing in PSN now. I've had enough. Tell me how I get my Xbox and what I got to do to get Game Pass.
Okay, guys, Timdog has to go. Timdog, I want to say to you, thanks for coming. For the short amount of time you had. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, xCloudTimdog, and I will definitely be back when I have a little bit more time. We'll schedule it. Everyone have a happy New Year, happy holidays. It was a great panel, and we will definitely finish off this conversation, hopefully with a lot more news and stuff like that down the line. Thanks for everyone here, and I will see you next year.
Thanks,
problem.
Tim.
Well, thanks, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Timdog.
hanging out with us, Timdog. Have a good one.
Great
All right, Tim.
to have
stay
you
safe.
here.
Thank you.
See
Be
ya.
good. Have a good New Year.
Okay, so Lupa, you were saying?
I was saying, so my son, he's now asked me, what do you got to do to get a Series S or X and to get Game Pass? So he's coming over from PlayStation because he's bored with PlayStation.
What's funny? So
Wow.
I have some friends that I've had on Xbox Live for a long time, and they actually abandoned Xbox at the beginning of the last generation, and they got a PS4 instead of a Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole group of people, a whole group of guys that are like, they're fed up with what Xbox was doing with the whole TV stuff and everything that they were doing back then, And so they jumped ship. Well, they all got Series X's instead of PS5s. And send me a message saying, hey, we're just letting you know we're all back on here. How's it going, man? It's been a long time seeing you. Because even though I had a PlayStation and they were on there, we didn't ever talk on there because there's the games weren't very social. You know what I mean?
No.
So they were saying, hey, yeah, we're just sick of it, and we're back. So I think with that comes the adding to the value thing of hey, once you play one of those single player games, you're kind of done with it, and then what do you keep playing? Now, yes, there's a multiplats, but with all the stuff that Xbox has been announcing, it's grabbing the attention of people that had been ignoring them, and it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And we're going to see a lot of changes here in the next couple of years. It's going to be really interesting. And that being said, Sony's going to have a lot of good stuff too. So it's going to be great to have both consoles, but I think it's going to be a lot more interesting this generation as far as the competition goes.
For
right?
sure.
Mav, do you think there's any concern for that Atari VCS?
Yeah, 100%. Yes, I think everybody should just throw in the towel right now, because that Atari VCS is going to rule the school. It's going to control everything. Everybody is going to have that, and nobody's going to buy it.
I don't agree.
I think
Yamiko.
Nintendo's going to go out the
No.
window,
No.
and Amico or
Yamiko.
Atari's going to take.
I'm going to get an Amico, 100%. I'm getting an Amico.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God,
not
it's really
joking.
interesting in the
It's
Amico
brilliant,
for
isn't
next year. We're probably gonna buy it eventually.
Yeah, the VCS thing, I don't really understand that, but I do understand what they're doing with the Amico, and I think there's a fit for it. It kind of fits like that hole that the Nintendo Wii left, where it's that console for the grandma. No offense, Lupa.
For the
And,
oh wow! You're out of here, sir. You're out of here.
was
No.
painful,
That was a low
man.
ball.
No.
That hit me right hard in the heart, man.
Yeah, you're out of here. You're cancelled.
so I think it's going to be a console for anybody that's never even played a game before on a game machine. Kind of like how you remember how they had the Wii in the malls to let everybody try it, and it grabbed the attention of a lot of people, and it came with Wii Sports, right? And people could just pick up and play that. They didn't even have to know how to use the controller. It took the intimidation factor away, right? I think the television is going to be that party console at houses for people. That it's going to be kind of like that. I think there's a fit for it. I like what they're doing there. I think it's good for gaming, honestly, with what they're doing there. So hopefully it works.
Well,
I
do
think
you
people-
understand?
Especially,
It's
I was going to say with the Atari VCS, they're touting it as their PC console hybrid. What
Yeah,
makes
I don't
it
know what
PC?
that-
What makes it PC?
it has you can run it like a PC. You can actually use it as a PC. You can. I think you can even play like Steam games and stuff on there. So that
Okay.
would be the benefit. However, it's not as it's decently powerful, but like it's pretty expensive, you know. So, it's really kind of like this weird hybrid thing that's really not for anyone, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just wondering what it was. I just looked it up and I thought, well, I've never heard of it, and I thought,
And
let's have a look.
the
And they're saying
Amico,
it's
is the Amico like, is it like a console for a family to play together?
It's for grandmas.
Will it be no, but I mean, will it be online? You're gonna it's all right, Caitlin's gonna sort it for me.
let
Don't
me
worry.
say
No,
this.
she's already telling me in the chat she's gonna let me have it.
The Amico is more of a party console, but it's also great for kids as well.
Yeah.
There's no violent games on there. It's more of I would say a safe console to grow up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
It's also
that.
the games are like $5 a piece.
Yeah,
Also, and it
it's
comes
cheap.
with 2 controllers automatically.
right.
Yes.
So
And
I
do
don't know
you
if it's
play
going to be
those
online. or not.
online? Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know.
I'm asking, because there's no point me getting one, you see, if I can't play with all you lot.
Yeah.
Because there's
I
only me
think
and the
so.
hubby, and we got a Switch, and it sits there majority of the year doing nothing, because like he'll play some Mario Kart or we'll play some games together on there occasionally. But really, I only have the Switch, as I had the Wii and the Wii U I had for the kids.
Honestly, if
And
I'm being honest,
the
I don't have no. I'm
family
not sure
time.
because I've never thought of the console like that to even ask that question for me myself, right? So that is a very good question that would make a big difference to a lot of people.
So
So
what
will.
I'm thinking of when I think of the Amico, right? You have the leaderboards in the games, and I think it's more like back in the day you had the Flash games with all the leaderboards and stuff. I think it's more something like that per se. It's not I know some games will have online multiplayer, like do you know the game with the tanks where there are multiple tanks
World of
on
Tanks. World of Tanks.
No, not like World of Tanks. That's it's more like you have to think all the games, Lupa.
Yes, I am. Yeah, but like it's like tanks all in a game, but like 8-pixel type thing.
Yeah, so pixels, but it's more like a 2D kind of a game. So the tanks where you are 2 tanks on the screen, like the Worms games, where you have to kill the other worms.
Yeah,
But then with tanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically something like that will be probably online multiplayer, but I think it depends on game to game.
Well, this is what I'm asking for, because I have the Switch now mainly because obviously when you could have family over, we all played as a family.
Yeah.
But like mainly for Breath of the Wild, because I absolutely adore Zelda. But I really want to buy into the Amico, but if it's just like local playing together in the room, it's of no use to me.
Well,
okay, I'm just gonna Google this.
You will probably have to wait
Will
for
the
an answer to that
Amico
completely.
Yeah, because I've been talking to Mike and stuff from LG, you know, Stinger, and he was bigging it up, but he never answered that question, if you like. I didn't directly put it
It's
to
couch co-op, I believe, but it's going to have
Yeah.
online leaderboards.
Yeah,
right.
that's what
So
I
this
was
is what it
thinking.
says. It says, will there be online multiplayer available? And it says, not initially. We are looking into more online gaming and sharing features, but they will have to fit into our overriding family-friendly goals for Amico. So it sounds like they're going to be really strict on what they allow for online, and plus have some... like, they don't want to have the whole online infrastructure like Xbox has and... you know, PlayStation has and all that kind of stuff, right?
No,
So
they don't want the vitriol and the nastiness. They want little friendly games, but that's fine. I like games like that. I love like Mario Kart and stuff like that. But you know, if it's not going to be online, then it's really useless to me.
I think you're better off with the Switch then, Lupa.
Yeah, it's not going to be for
I
everyone.
think the Switch is also a friendly console that basically does the same thing, but it's aimed at a different audience. I think the Amico general is more about like in a contained environment, that they want to keep it kids friendly, overall and family friendly. So I don't feel like a real online environment like we have with the other games that we have now with voice chat and parties and stuff. That's really gonna be the thing that they're going for.
I want it for drunk party games. That's
Like
100%. That's why I want it.
Yeah.
Like when we have our family, friends, and stuff over, like
Jackbox, but in your lounge.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, the Jackbox games are really fun. I sometimes play.
Yeah.
But
I really like them too. But it like I say, I don't want to spend the money if it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Like if I could have, say, Caitlin, Mav, you, whoever in a game, and we could play a little cart game, or we could play, like I used to play Link's crossbow with the actual crossbow on the Wii. It was so brilliant. It was so cool. Like lovely little games like that. I love to play because I love indie games. So same sort of difference. And I'll play anything, but sitting playing on my own, obviously I'm going to prefer to play on the Xbox. The only thing I'm waiting for on the Switch really is Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, I understand. That's one of the main games I'm waiting for as well. I think everyone's waiting for the game, basically.
Yes. Yeah, I think COVID has put a bit of a dampener on it, so I think it's taking longer than they expected. But
well, I think it's not gonna release till the end of next year, so to speak.
Probably
anyway,
I think it's going
I think it's gonna be
release
another
with
year
the Pro.
or two.
I think it's gonna release with the Switch Pro when they get ready to release that.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly right. Yeah.
It's a rumor. Like, there's no hard evidence.
Yeah. The only reason I say that is because that's what they did with Breath of the Wild when they released the Switch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Where
so
the
I'm
hell's
thinking-
Metroid?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Where
want
the
to
hell
play
is
Metroid, buy a Series S and play it emulated on there. So.
No, I want to play a new Metroid.
Yeah,
new
we need
one.
a modern. Do you
Or
know how crazy
remaster?
a modern day Metro would be? Metroid
I
modern?
actually never played a 3D Metroid game. No.
What?
No, I didn't have the old consoles. The first console I had when I was a kid was Nintendo 60, the normal NES, then the Super NES, and then was PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and then Xbox One X.
I will say they had a first person Metroid that came out in FPS Metroid that came out in that time period too.
Yeah, but I didn't own that because I didn't know about Metroid back then.
Yeah, all good.
I
think it's
haven't
more
been on the internet since. I don't know.
Yeah,
when I
it's a
restarted.
shame that Nintendo's backwards compatibility is non-existent. Really, you know what I mean? I mean, come on.
But we know why it's non-existent.
It sucks, man. Nintendo gets a free pass with this stuff, and let me rail on them for a second because it's like, come on, guys.
Where's
Like,
the positivity? Come on.
I love Nintendo, and that's the problem, right? Like, I love all these games, but I have to have an old console to play these classics or buy them as brand new games again when they're released for 3 months at a time. I mean, come on. And then you have all this stuff, and they started to do it right with the Wii. They had that whole Nintendo online store where you could buy all these old games, and if you don't have a Wii anymore, that's all gone. You know, so
and that moved to the Wii U.
Well, even if you do have a Wii, they've shut down the store.
where is
If you had a Wii U, you could play the Wii games on it via the pass over, they just put them in there and you could go and access them. But I had over 200 Wii and Wii U games, and they're useless to me with a Switch.
Hey, Nintendo believes in generations.
No, Nintendo's just a rip-off version. They don't even drop the price of their damn games.
Exactly,
years
because they
later.
believe in generations.
Right.
Well, it's because the consoles, when they release them, are always a generation behind.
Yeah,
that
Mav.
too, but they don't
And
care.
there are Dreamcast consoles as well, but I don't mind because I love my Zelda. I need to play my Zelda.
The games are impeccable, but
They are.
let's have a great machine to play them on. Let's have a tradition. Let's have a great new console, not a handheld compromise.
Yes.
Let's have a real traditional console again that is comparable to the other leading console manufacturers out there. At least somewhat. They used to lead the way with this stuff. Nintendo did.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64, when it came out, was the cream of the crop.
Brilliant.
It was the only thing that could do the 3D gaming at the time, like it did. Now, where the heck is that stuff today with leading the way with gaming? They have sacrificed themselves to be the second device that everybody owns, and they're content with that, as opposed to leading the way with gaming and driving the industry.
That's what's crazy. They are leading the way. They keep selling out. You can't just go in and buy one most of the time. You know what I mean? No. They're ahead of sales in every avenue.
They're in okay. So leading the way, not as far in sales. I agree with you, right? Because they sell like they're a toy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But they're not leading the way as far as innovation goes. With technology and gaming anymore.
They don't care about that.
And the annoying thing is that why didn't they bring out a Switch, not a Switch, but like a console? Because a handheld's useless to me.
They wanted to do their own thing, and they felt it was great. And actually, it was successful, so they did a damn good job.
It's not that they're not successful doing it; that they're very successful doing it. But I personally want a traditional Nintendo console that has cutting edge technology and games on it.
Like
I don't want just a handheld.
Well, let's hope the Pro does something different.
It's fine when my granddaughter's over and I want to watch a movie, but I have 2 TVs, so I can always go in another room. But like, if you only had one TV, it's fantastic for her to be playing and say, well, I want to watch a telly now, and she can change to handheld, and then I can still watch my television and she can play. But it doesn't last very long. So that's another problem.
The games right now look like ass on a big screen. I'm sorry, they do. Yeah. You know, if you have a 65-inch or bigger screen and you play a Nintendo Switch game in dock mode on there, it looks like crap. It does.
Yeah, that is
absolutely. Even on my OLED, it looks crap.
Now, the 4K will help that, obviously, but it's still going to be way behind the Series X and the PS5 by a large margin.
I believe the Series S, rivals it now because it's small, it's compact, and it's a much better console.
Plus, you're going to have
xCloud. It doesn't have
xCloud.
those Nintendo exclusives,
it has an xCloud,
and it doesn't have the polish that the Nintendo exclusives have. I mean, Nintendo. You can say anything you want about Nintendo, but Nintendo games are always not buggy. Like, they're almost non-existent bugs in the games. And they're always impeccable. Like they're always the best games.
I've been stuck in places that I couldn't get out of.
Yeah, you only get a couple of them a year. Also, you know what I mean? Like maybe even if you get that, and then there's no multi-platform big games on it either. Like you get only a little bit.
I mean, the biggest thing that you notice on Nintendo, they just know that their consumers are going to keep their console. Once you get one, you're not going to sell it unless you have to. I mean, I feel like, and that's the biggest thing why they keep doing what they're doing. I mean, I don't think they feel like they need to change.
Right.
I mean,
the bullshit they did this year with Animal Crossing, where you got to have 2 Switches to be able to have 2 islands. Like, come on, you know, like it causes a problem for families that have multiple kids or multiple people that want to play it. It's they get a free pass with this anti-consumer stuff when people rail on Xbox and PlayStation for things, but it's just like, oh, Nintendo makes great games, so it's okay. You know what I mean?
I don't want to say what they did with Nintendo, like the remake of Mario, with the Stars Collection. I don't think that's something that's too much for Nintendo even to do.
Yeah, you have to get it by March or it's gone for good.
I did buy it when it came out. I did cave in. I did play Nintendo 64. Mario. I could not get into it. I could not get into it. All of them. Like I tried them. I played them all for I think 15 minutes.
Galaxy and Galaxy 2, they're amazing.
Yeah, they are amazing, but I just can't get into them. at this point in time.
No, because they're childish, really, in a way now.
Well,
Let's be
but
fair, though.
I'm playing Disney Rush on my Xbox Series
Yeah,
X at the
indeed.
moment. With my girlfriend next to me, we're laughing so hard with the game. Like, okay,
Yeah.
hold on, let me go
Turbo.
back 2 minutes, right? I'm like in this pipe section where I fall down, and it's like this guy is cleaning windows. That's what we were saying. This is so hilarious. It's so funny to see these games. So talking about childish games can be so much fun. Come on, just look
of
at
course
this.
they
Look at
can.
YMCA.
Nintendo are reselling you a game that I played on the Wii. In a couple of free, all 3 games have been played before, and they're charging you full price for it, and they're saying you can only have it till March.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Lupa,
the other
Can
thing
I
is
say
too.
they sold us cardboard.
Yeah.
Never.
They
For
sold us cardboard.
Yeah, the box thing. Bloody well, they did sell it to me. They can get knotted.
The only thing too is that they're not even real remasters. All they did is up the resolution on it. They didn't really change anything else, you know.
Thank you, Mav. That's what I was trying to get at. I couldn't think of the word.
I can
So
say
that
that
was
I
what- yeah.
actually never played those games. So I didn't know what to expect. So I was very surprised, but I know what the games look like. I mean, I've seen the gameplay, I've seen speed runnings of the game, so I did know what I was getting into. But yeah, I never experienced those, and I do want to experience. And I think there's a lot of people that actually haven't experienced, especially the Nintendo 64 one. Like most
Well,
people.
no, I mean, I gave my Wii U and Wii's to my children, and the grandchildren are playing them now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is they're enjoying them, and they have the Galaxy games I had, and the Sunshine and the SNES game and 64, sorry, and they're loving them.
But
And
I just
that's
don't know
great.
why don't they come out with a proper remaster and then keep it on the market? Like, why take it away? You know what I mean? Like, I get the games are great, people want to experience them, but like at the same time, if you compare it to what other companies have done with the remasters, okay, you could compare this with the Mario to the Master Chief Collection, right? Like, look how much work they put into that, and it's the same price as what they did with Mario, and all you got on Mario is up resolution, right? And they took the game away after 3 months. It just the value there is just like it is not the same.
So,
You know,
Mav, can I say something to you?
Rare replay also. Look at Rare Replay. That's another.
Yeah,
big
look at
comparison.
Rare Replay. Yeah.
Look how many games you got with that. You know,
Okay.
and
Can
some
I
of them
say-
had remasters also.
Can I say something, Mav? I want to speculate here. First of all, Mario 64, that version isn't even uprust. It's the original 4x3 type game with the original resolution. Just upscaled to your big TV. But it's the same resolution.
Right. That's even worse than.
Yeah, and that's the only game that isn't uprust. Like the other two are HD with 60 frames. But
what they charge for it, I guess,
the aspect ratio.
$20 per game, right? But I don't know.
But I was thinking, what if after the 6 months are done, we get the announcement of the Pro of Switch, right? At the end of the 6 months, and then they say after that they're bringing it out on the Pro with even a better version.
That would be even worse because at that point, everybody that bought it now would be screwed.
And what if you get a free upgrade?
Was that?
What if you get a free
Nintendo
upgrade?
give you nothing
For a free upgrade from Nintendo? Okay. Yeah, we'll see if that happens.
You can just speculate, guys. I want to speculate.
No, never.
That's some fun speculation right there.
That's the, like I said before, that's some sad speculation right there. That ain't gonna happen. No,
I have no idea. I don't know Nintendo that well.
I think the reason they did it is because they only had that one and the new Hyrule Warriors come out.
Oh,
in
that game is phenomenal.
16 months.
Well, they want to be able to resell you the game on the next system down the road, and they don't want to have it entirely in their marketplace. So whenever they do have another version in the future, they'll sell it to you again. That's
I have to say, until I listened to you guys, I didn't realize that Nintendo got away with so much. I mean,
oh yeah. It just goes under the table because we're
everybody's
main
focused
console.
on the big two apparently, but Nintendo's way above the big two. they outsell them every year.
Yeah, but like I said,
that's-
it's a different market. You'll probably never see them do another console. They know they can't compete on the console level.
They will do another console.
They
The Switch
could-
Pro is definitely in the making.
Well, we'll see.
The Switch, yeah, that is going to happen. They've already said so that is going to happen. The Switch 4K, but that to me, that's not a console.
No,
Yeah, Switch Pro. It's Switch
No,
I mean,
Pro.
I watch the Nintendo Direct every time it's out, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And the
yeah.
Pro is definitely coming, but it's still exactly the same thing, just in 4K.
Mhm.
yeah. that's what I mean.
1440p handheld,
I'm not
1080p
buying it
handheld.
again.
So,
And
Yeah,
people
I'm
are
not
going to rave about it. They're going to love it. They're going to scream
Yeah.
from the
if it's
rooftops.
a console and it's just like you keep it docked, is it not the same thing if it's in 4K?
I keep it docked all the time unless my granddaughter uses it.
Is
So
then
I
not
play it.
technically a console?
I mean, no, it is.
Yeah,
I
it
would
is a
definitely.
I don't know, because it's so small. It's relegating the ability for it to have up to date power. Therefore, to me, it's a handheld.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
is
would
a
say,
handheld.
yeah.
To me, it doesn't qualify as a console like the Xbox or the PlayStation.
Oh,
Oh
definitely
yeah,
not.
I don't look at it like that.
But if
no.
it runs 4K, right? In the
the dock?
dock mode.
It's a console in the same way that the Amico is a console, I guess. If you want to
Yeah.
if you want to give it a fair comparison, now it'll do
enough.
4K and all that stuff, but like,
I think the whole
I don't know,
purpose of the Switch is to be a handheld first, and
Yes.
to be and to be docked second.
Absolutely.
It's to give you it's just to give you the option.
maybe
Because-
that'll change with the
That's why it's
4K
called
because
the
the
Switch.
resolution
Yeah.
will be
Because
so much
kids are
better.
taking it to school like they used to with the DS and everything.
But again, what much? There's not much going to change because it's still going to be the people who really play, the ones that it matters to. They really play the Switch are using it in handheld mode. They're using it not on the dock. And even the only thing the Switch Pro is going to change is say, oh, now my games will look a little better on my TV when I want to put them there.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, Nintendo knows what its strong suit is. It's just like Microsoft. Microsoft knows what their strong suit. Nintendo's good at handhelds. Microsoft's good at services, and Sony's just good at putting out third-person adventure games. So, you know what I mean. So,
Fair enough.
everybody knows what they're good at, and it's hard to
What their
deviate
road
off of it
is.
right now. Yeah,
They
exactly.
So-
don't take the diversions. They just stick on the same main road.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
fun,
If you-
what's the new name of the new Switch?
it'll be Switch 4K
Switch Pro.
probably. Or Switch 2.
Yeah.
Which
It's-
is Switch
For me, will be
XL.
Switch XL, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Switch
the DS
yeah.
XL.
Yeah, if we're
like
gonna
the DS,
if we're gonna follow
yeah.
the pattern, yeah, it's gonna be
We'll
Switch
follow
XL.
the pattern, so that's why I'm saying the Switch XL. Like you have the Switch Lite, like you had the DS Mini,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
Did
So,
you see Tushy's picture of the difference in size? The Switch Lite and the actual Switch.
Yeah,
It's a little small.
but the
It
thing is, it's not a Switch. It doesn't switch. It's a handheld.
No,
it doesn't even switch.
exactly.
It's got the
That's
Switch.
why I don't understand why didn't they just call it something else, like handheld gaming or something. I don't know.
like I'm saying,
you
guys.
had the name
Because
that name because
Switch is a
popularity.
recognizable name.
It's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah,
console.
that's why, yeah.
It's not a
Switch is-
console. It is a
Not a
console. Handheld device, and
I think-
even the naming conventions is the
Yeah.
same thing as they're doing with the handhelds. You know,
And it's actually it's a large DS, extra
Yeah.
extra large.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it is.
that's true.
Well, I don't
Uh,
want to say I think the control is too small. Like even the control you get in the box and you put it into with the two controllers, like into the sliding into the handheld device
Yeah.
that you get inside the box with the Switch. It's too small. Like I bought myself a cheap knockoff controller and works fine. Can you use an Xbox control on the Switch?
Oh,
There
no.
is a dongle, I believe. Yes,
There's a dongle. Ooh.
there's a dongle that you can buy. I can't remember what it's called, but there is a dongle because I believe Austin John, if you look up his YouTube channel and go back a ways when the Switch first came out, he showed a lot of accessories for the Switch. I have the Pro, the Switch Pro controller. It's not a patch on the Xbox controller or even the PlayStation controller, but it's better than using them silly little joysticks. But the kids like to use the joysticks, so I've got like extras of those. But yeah, I do believe he did show that you could play it. Yes, definitely, you can play it on a PS controller, DualShock, and also on the Xbox controller.
Yeah, for sure.
You just buy a dongle.
They also have a controller that's like very similar to the Xbox controller. Actually, I actually bought one for my daughter for Christmas, and
Yeah, it's a good controller.
and it's on the cheaper side, but it's still a solid controller, man. It looks just like the Xbox controller, except it has the home button instead of the actual Xbox button.
And the thing is that the X, Y, B, A are mixed up. And
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
so confusing. I'm pressing B to go back, and I'm like, what the hell? It's supposed to be A. Oh no. So, but apparently now they did add that you can change the buttons.
Oh, okay.
So you don't even need to put an Xbox controller on there now. You can. There is. You go into the menu, I believe, and there is the ability to, like you can set up an Xbox controller how you want, using what buttons you want. I think there's the same thing for the Switch now. I think they've finally done it. The last I looked, the last I heard, they were bringing it. And I did watch Austin John because I watched Nintendo Direct and he was on after it. So I carried on and watched him. Okay. And he was saying that you can go into there and you can change your buttons to the Xbox buttons if you wish.
That's so great. That's great. I always mess up my A, my B button. Every time.
Me too, always.
Because of the stupid... every other console does the other way around.
I know.
Every other controller. Yeah.
I'll be in Mario Kart with the grandchildren and all of a sudden they go, where's it gone, Nana? And I'm like, oh shit, I pressed B instead of A.
Greek dude is saying the same thing. You can map the buttons, so it's probably definitely a thing. I'll probably have to update my Switch now. God damn it.
Yeah, it's 2.10, I think, I think that's the one.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I still need to update my Switch.
Not so good, but yeah.
The only thing I use it is when I need have a long break on work, or I'm on the reserve list, so I don't need to drive, but just wait till I'm I'm called up to drive somewhere. But then I'm waiting at work. And sometimes I sit there for 8 hours or 7 hours or something. So I'm like, I'm taking my Switch with me. And hopefully I don't need to drive. So I can just game while working. That's easy.
The only time I really would use it in handheld is if I got put in hospital for any reason.
That's one of the reasons why you need the Switch.
I reckon the S is much better though. I could take the S now. It's smallerish. It's like you just put it in your bag.
But hold on, the S you still need a screen. So if it does have a screen attachment, like you would put a laptop screen on there.
Telly's in hospital now.
Okay.
Telly on every bed.
I just got a new thing. An Xbox One Series S with a screen attachment. So you don't even need a screen. Just basically have a screen attached.
That's what xCloud is for.
You just use your cloud and use a decent tablet like the Samsung.
I was gonna say, there's a nonprofit that raises money for carts that they do that. For hospital kids.
Yeah, we've got the Galaxy Tab A, which is a 10.1 screen, and I connect my Xbox controller up to it, and there you go.
Yeah.
Off cloud gaming.
Also, Cerebral.
xCloud is there now, and you just use your tablet or you use your phone if you've got a nice Note 20 Ultra.
Yeah, I got the A50, which is a small ass phone. I do have a cracked screen that I still need to replace.
The Galaxy tablet is literally only 80 quid.
Yeah,
60 quid, something like that.
I don't need a tablet. Why do I need a tablet if I have a phone?
The 10.1 inch
screen?
Galaxy tablet is, I think, 112.
You want a decent screen.
Yeah, phone screens are too small for me. I can't.
Yeah, me too. I agree, Paul.
And I play phone games on my phone. I don't play xCloud on my phone. I cannot be
You're
bothered with
stuck
carrying
in,
a control
you're stuck
with me
in a
everywhere.
generation. You need to move on, Flam.
I see where you're coming from. To be fair, I see where because if you've got any sort of text, on the game screen itself, it's so difficult to read if it's on a phone.
Just imagine
Oh,
playing
I
Witcher
can't
on
do
that
it.
small ass phone. No, just.
No, yeah,
That's why you
it's
need to get
impossible.
What? Okay, so what's
tried
my
it.
extra abilities on my armor? What?
Yeah, I've tried it. It's not good when there's a lot of text in the game. But
Yeah, just
for
imagine
example, the game
RPG.
you're playing right now, you could be playing Wreckfest on your phone.
Yeah.
Yes, what you're seeing in the
There's no
background.
text. It's easy.
My
Exactly.
My
You could-
beautiful
it's easy.
horse.
It's so
Wreckfest I
easy,
could do
though,
because
isn't
you
it,
don't
people?
really need to see anything on Wreckfest. You could just ram
Exactly.
into
You play games that you don't need text on.
We all look for your name above the cap hole. You know that.
But the thing is that you can then. That's why you get a 10-inch tablet
Yeah.
and play on there, and they're so
Yeah.
cheap to get nowadays.
Like I said, the Galaxy Tab A is around £100, £110, something like that. So I'm sure
Get it?
dollars will
sales.
be similar.
Well, need a larger
But
screen.
yeah, I think Xbox nailed it with xCloud when that's fully.
Crazy Greek dude. Crazy Greek dude is saying in the chat that text isn't too bad. I've been playing Cyberpunk on my phone. Like wow, that's a feat on his own. I have to say that.
Yeah, but he may not need reading glasses.
Game of the year. Am I right, guys?
There you
Game
go.
of the year.
He suddenly wakes up
Cloud.
and then he comes
You're
in.
such a
as soon as
flip
it's like
flopper.
the
I
So
forgot he was
difficult.
here.
Cloud.
I forgot he was
You-
here.
You said, Clowns, that your game of the year was Avengers. Make your mind up.
You're such a flip
Avengers.
flopper. Every time I talk
Holy
to him, it's
crap.
like, wah. This game,
Wow.
wah, that game. Wah. That's how it sounds in real life, by the way. Wow.
So which is it, Clowns? Avengers or Cyberpunk?
Hmm?
Marvel's Avengers is my favorite game of the year, and Cyberpunk is game of the year.
There you go. That's it.
I think it will be next year when the it's fixed and the Series S and X version comes out. But
I'm not gonna agree, and I will tell you why. First of all, the game released this year, and if they have the same standard like they have this year with last year, Cyberpunk will not even be in the list because Fallen Order was not even on the list today.
Oh,
this
they'll
month.
make sure Cyberpunk's there though. Don't worry.
Of course they'll make
There's
sure
gonna be a
Cyberpunk-
lot of angry dudes. It's
A
gonna
lot
be of
bigger.
angry.
Jedi Fallen Order was a dark horse.
Yeah, Fallen Order got gypped. Fallen Order
Oh
series.
yeah, Fallen Order got
It
jumped,
got
but
defeated
it's
along
Star
with
Wars,
Ori.
man.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. I do want to agree. Ori is not. It's not game of the year material. There's not enough people loving that game. There's not enough people in the world loving that game that's gonna
Rubbish.
be in
Is that what the criteria is though? The amount of sales that it has, or is it the quality of the
that's
game?
what we don't know. It's just a list of journalists and other people in the industry
Yeah.
that make up the list. But I do
So-
feel that Ori is not. It was never gonna be on the list anyway.
You're joking. The music is amazing. The art style is amazing. It's a
But it
beautiful
wasn't
game.
best
Combat is
music.
smooth.
That's-
Sorry, it was the best
that's-
music. That's
that's
why.
one game. That's one game I'm
But that's
saving
Game of the
until
Year.
the Series X.
This is why the rewards don't matter. The awards don't matter, and that
Yeah.
it's just a whatever thing for me for the awards. I watch that for the announcements, and even for the show. I don't really honestly think the awards matter to them as much as an excuse to have a show to be able to promote things and
Right.
market things, right? So
Also, Crazy Greek Dude actually
Agreed.
makes a fair point. Ori was a sequel, so they gave the spot to Hades.
What about Minecraft Dungeons DLC? DLC
Oh,
of
that-
the year.
Yeah, that was
the
brilliant.
DLC of the year.
Well, what was the
What
DLC
about
of the year?
Among Us? That was first out in 2017,
Yeah.
and yet it got put in.
I will say Minecraft Dungeons should have got some love. I mean, because
It should have.
Yeah, there's just like I said, it's just they're gonna have in there. What do they think more people are gonna watch? And ultimately that works for me because the more people that watch it means we get to have more things, which means we get bigger announcements.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the
So,
only thing
agreed.
is it seems so Sony centric. It really did. I don't know if they do that intentionally.
See, I don't think. See, and I know a lot of people say that the awards are Sony centric or whatever the case might be. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but over the last like 5 years, I can even go longer than that as long as I'm doing the video game awards. It's always a particular kind of games that get nominated, particular kind of games that they look at, particular kind of games that are up for that discussion. And it's usually those bigger games. It's hard for an indie game, technically speaking. I guess you could consider it an indie game to get that spot just because of the competition around it. A lot of the times, like this last year, I probably would have been the best time for it to happen. The fact that Ori even got mentioned with those other games, really, if you look at it, I mean, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Doom, the fact that it even got mentioned with those games is an accomplishment in itself. And that's what I look at. That's what I feel like is the most important. And I'm kind of on the same boat with Mav. I've never taken an award show serious, man. I mean, you're listening. If you're taking it serious, it's more so you're just listening to other people's opinions. In that case, we're all. I mean, at the end of the day, all those awards are opinion based anyway.
That's true for all awards.
Exactly. And I mean, it's the same thing with movies. I mean, you can say, for example, I could say Inception is one of the greatest movies that I've ever seen in my life. But then you could turn around and say,
Avatar, the blue Avatar.
Exactly. But that's the perfect example. But then you could throw back, Avatar is a better movie for these reasons. And it's like, I don't know, man. We could sit here and really have a 4-hour conversation about why we feel differently about that. And it's going to be, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, hey, man, how about you sign this dotted line for me? Which one you like better? You know what I mean? And then out of the two, people are going to, most of the time, pick what's more popular.
Let me tell you this, guys.
It's all subjective, isn't it? Still, it's all subjective.
I'm just glad there is an award show.
Facts. 100%.
Sport you like is all subjective.
Let me just tell you this: the Game Awards only matters. No, what I actually mean. Sorry, rephrase. The only thing that matters about the games is what you think is the best game of the year. It's what you think is the best music of the year. That's the only thing that should matter. If there's 1,000 people on YouTube. There's 10 different kinds of channels that do these game awards type stuff. News articles. Like GameStop has its own game of the year style thing. There's another one that Clowns mentioned to me some time ago. That's the one he trusts as game of the year.
The British Awards, I think it is. The ones
I don't know it was. Clowns knows.
Hacks?
You know what? It's
the one with the
Wake up, Clowns. There you go.
the narcolepsy's kicking in. I can't remember the name of it. It's the Golden Key Awards or something like that. Somebody probably knows just from those words.
It was like 10 or 12 different awards that you. We did a new show about it.
Yeah, I know.
Indie Gamer did an awards for the indie games.
Golden Joystick Awards, was that?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So those is the one that Clowns deems as worthy of being Game of the Year awards. So yeah, it's all like Lupa says and the other people on the panel. Like in general, it's just subjective to what you think, and that's the only thing that should matter. And everyone has different opinion, and that's what I love about all these media, about all these games that come out, all these experiences that you get to enjoy. Because for everyone, gaming means something else, and I just love to have discussions about that. One of the reasons why I'm doing these shows with all the randomness involved is hearing a lot of opinions from different people, why they love gaming, what they love for type of games, and how they go around enjoying the hobby in general. So
one game I thought really got forgotten about, and it shouldn't have, because it was so original was Maneater.
Okay.
That game was so
Where you-
hilarious. It's so hilarious.
where you're the
Just
shark.
A
Where you're the
fluffing
shark.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks awesome. They've updated it for the Series X. It's a totally different style of game that I've ever played, where you're a man-eating shark, and that's the goal, is to destroy ships and eat things.
I thought Carrion was a little better. Where you're the monster, and I thought
I haven't played Carry On yet.
Oh, you should, man. It's a puzzle game, though. It's a sort of a puzzle game mixed in with being an evil virus.
I actually 100%ed Maneater. That's how much I enjoyed it.
You will enjoy
Cool.
Carrion. There are some fun bits in that.
Wait a minute. Carry On and Maneater are completely different games, though.
Mhm.
It's both about killing other stuff. No.
Yeah.
I was just
Even that's subjective. Even that's subjective.
like-
Let's call it that. It's subjective.
Carry On is like a it is like an indie style game, platformer. It's nothing like a semi-open world shark game.
Yeah.
It's also
It's not. But it was a case of you're the evil thing in the water or in the corridor. You're playing the bad guy rather than
See,
the.
that's what I was
No.
thinking about.
That's where I
Flamish
did the relation.
Flamish is out of candy, so he's just agreeing with you. He's evil.
My candy balls. Sponsor my candy
I'm
ball.
just
Get
glad-
on PayPal.
I'm just glad we have an award show because it
funny.
makes the gaming even more mainstream and relevant. And
Yep.
like that's the point of it is to kind of grow the industry and everything.
And like you said, they
Yes.
make announcements and you see premieres. I
Yeah.
mean, that's when we first saw this.
So as far as what they actually, I wasn't even paying it. I was watching the awards, but I don't actually care at all about any who's nominated or who wins, because to me those are all there just to draw people in for an audience, and
Yeah.
then the audience is going to get to see all these games get marketed, right, and have these huge announcements. Just like if we watch the Grammys, do we care who wins the awards, or do we watch for the performances? Like
Yeah,
watch
true,
the
man.
performances.
I watched just to usually get on stage and tell somebody they didn't deserve an award.
I actually skipped all the awards because I just want to know what's gonna be announced, and especially
Yeah.
the 40K Dark Tide is my favorite announcement of that stream.
I actually think Xbox took it over this year as well with all the
Xbox
They
owned it this year.
destroyed the awards, man. They just went in there and be like, man, we're the guy of the evening. Let's go.
And you know how many people watched the Game Awards? A lot.
Oh,
So that's
million.
a big deal that they had those games that they revealed and that they showed there. It's going to be in people's minds now, right? And that's what it's all about.
Well, not the casuals though.
I
No,
admit, I
Even
watched
even a lot of casuals watch that because it's the award show for gaming. It's promoted like they're like, okay, let's tune into this. You have so many different channels restreaming it that people are just casual fans of, right?
and
So-
it was right before Christmas, which is
Mhm.
great.
If there's
because-
one thing casuals
And a lot
watch,
of
it's
people are watching YouTube these days as well, rather than TV, aren't they?
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're the
I
ones
want-
actually saying, "Oh, I don't think they should have won that."
yeah, exactly.
Well, everyone was agreeing about one thing. Last of Us Part 2 shouldn't be Game of the Year.
That's again.
Subjective.
Yeah, that's purely subjective.
Well,
I
I'm
mean-
not saying
If
it's a bad game
played
though.
it and they like it, they'll vote for it. If they didn't, they won't, because they'll vote for what they did play.
Yeah.
And
Everything,
they like.
everything that I've seen.
But about enjoyment at the end of the day, I might enjoy a game that you absolutely can't stand. It doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make me a bad person.
I do want to say one category I think they really nailed. The Last of Us Part 2 is the most accessible game out there if you see the amount of options. Like, I really went in there, right? And you have an option to actually play in slow motion while you're aiming. That's the most fun you'll have in Last of Us Part 2. Just all the slow motion carnage you can do. And just being like the zombies running towards you and you're just with your gun, pew, pew, pew. And then having that all in black and white with the enemies in red. Makes it less scary. There's even visual cues in the game and stuff. I actually talked about it in one of my first ever shows on YouTube. So if you want to watch that, small plug.
Does the shooting sound like that though? Does the shooting sound like what you did?
Pew pew
Does
pew
that
pew.
pew pew pew? 'Cause that'd
No,
be cool.
no, that's more Star Wars kind of sound. I was doing the Star Wars kind of sound effects.
Ah, see.
I will say one difference between like video game awards and like movies and stuff. When they do movie awards, everybody who's a voter for like the Oscars, they all see the movie. They get sent copies of the movie.
Yeah.
And that's one thing the gamers
Really?
they don't get that. Everybody who voted for the games didn't necessarily play all the games. When I look at the list, I go, I've only played 2 of those.
There's no way to have an unbiased game
Yeah.
awards.
No.
It's just impossible.
But
So
don't you-
that's another reason why it doesn't matter. So the only thing I could think of is if they actually had the developers actually vote instead of journalists, because game journalists are no different than any of us. They just
Right.
have more popular websites, right? I mean, it's just how do they pick who gets to vote on what? And
Yeah.
if PlayStation has more people that own one, guess what? More people have played a PlayStation game, and more people are probably going to vote for the games that they've played.
You'd almost have to have a set panel like they do for the Oscars to say,
They
definitely
also have their
should
own
be a different
preferences
format.
as well. Like it's
Yeah.
not about like most people have their own preference what they like about the game. So it's like I said before, everyone has a different opinion about what game they like the most, and even journalists have a preference. It's not they gonna tell you what the.
Well, they
preference is.
also only maybe own one system,
yeah,
right? So
that's what I was getting at. Is they only may be exposed to 1 or 2 of the games. And go,
I
well,
don't
of the 2 that I
agree.
played, here's this one.
Shouldn't
you know.
all journalists that work for gaming companies have all systems in the
Well,
You can't say
as
that
they
for
work?
sure.
like if you
You
read,
can't say that for sure.
Wait,
They
they
don't
have
always.
access, but they don't get to play all the games. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
one person gets assigned with reviewing a game, and that's they play that for sure. But if you have a category that's so widespread, there's no way that all of these guys have played every game in those categories. You know?
No.
Unless they made a point to.
Yeah. I think it should be a different format, like say so many percent from PlayStation players, so many percent of Xbox players, Nintendo players, PC players, and then a overall panel that has definitely played each and every game. Something like that. So that it's an equal, fair opportunity for everybody.
Interesting.
Yeah, or like Paul said, if they did have the panel where they took like, okay, let's say there's 9 panel members and 3 of them are diehard Nintendo fans, 3 of them are diehard PlayStation fans. 3
Yeah,
of them
that's what
are
I
diehard
meant. Something like
Xbox,
that.
you
Yeah.
know.
Something like that, because I don't think journalists are objective, to be fair.
That goes
have-
beyond console platforms. That goes to genres as well. Like some guys don't play shooters. Some guys only play puzzle games. Some guys only play indie games.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
I don't like turn-based
very-
stuff. Like, give me a turn-based game to review,
So-
and I'll probably not play it.
So would you vote for like Dragon Quest as your game of the
No,
year?
never.
There's no way in hell you would,
Never.
right?
Yeah. That's exactly the
For
point.
me was between the games that I saw on the list, Ghost of Tsushima and Hades. But Ghost of Tsushima overall, just because it has overall like Hades is brilliant as a game, right? If you haven't played it yet, you should play it. But overall, I think Ghost of Tsushima was the best one of all of the 6 for me. But yeah, we can talk hours about this stuff. Who wants what game to win and who likes what game the most. Because it's all so different for everyone. And like I said before, that's the beauty of all of it.
But see, I can be objective. I will probably never play Ori in any iteration. I'm not good with platformers just because. But I can look at it visually and say, and hear it and go, you know what, that game looks amazing. It sounds amazing. So I maybe couldn't name it Game of the Year, but I would definitely put it in the running for visuals, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to be subjective without actually being able to enjoy the game for certain parts of it. Well, the story was good, but it's not my style.
Yeah, understand.
Or at least for me, maybe I'm one of the few who can do that and realize that I'm not good at the game, but it doesn't mean Yeah, I've been a big believer of just because I don't like a game because I can't play it doesn't mean the game is shit. You know,
Also-
and I try to tell people that.
Exactly.
Also,
Yeah.
the thing that people forget is what comes after the game releases. The
Yeah.
game released and Last of Us 2 is a closed package. We're still waiting for the multiplayer in that game. They promised the multiplayer, it's still not here. Ghost of Tsushima didn't even talked about the multiplayer, and so all of a sudden, bam, DLC, multiplayer, free added, New Game Plus. We didn't know that was all going to happen. That was not there at
See,
launch.
That's what
And
makes it great, though.
that's also one of the reasons why I think they went with the wrong choice overall. But yeah, I can't talk hours about that.
Yeah. At that point, I guess it's just kind of comparing experiences more than anything
Yeah.
else. The main thing is part of the reason I haven't even played Last of Us, because the main thing,
should.
Last of Us 2, I'm not playing it until the multiplayer comes out for it. The main thing that hooked me
Really?
onto the first Last of Us was the multiplayer. You know why I bought the first Last of Us? It was because I saw my cousin playing the multiplayer, and it completely was like, damn, man, I need that. And then boom, because of the multiplayer, I played the story, fell in love with the story, and I told myself from that point that unless the second game also has the multiplayer in it from the jump, I'm not going to get it until the multiplayer's in there. And it's mainly because I've been a multiplayer gamer for so long at this point. I was at a point to where I wasn't even buying games if it didn't have a multiplayer attached to it. I felt like it was a waste of money because, I mean, again, when you're, you know what I'm saying, you're under the age of 18 years old, you're living with your parents or whatever the case might be, there's only so many things that you can do, whether, other people might have their jobs, whatever the case. But for example, like myself, there's only had a certain amount of cash flow, so I had to be really choosy. And then you get older, whatever, start making your own decisions. Life happens, so and that's part of the reason what makes Game Pass so great. It kind of eliminates some of those decisions, but because I don't have, and also because I don't have the squad that I used to have, I can take that time out and enjoy single player games more now. I have a different attitude, but I'm also grown now. You know what I'm saying? So it's completely different. But the only thing that's going to get me to play Last of Us 2 is the multiplayer. And I mean, that's why I purposely, I mean, yeah, people ran and rave about it, but that's, again, like I was using an example before, that's not what got me to buy God of War. God of War isn't going to make me buy God of War. You know what I mean? For me personally, Spider-Man isn't going to make me buy Spider-Man. It's not going to make me buy an entire console, buy an entire service, buy an entire platform just for one or two games. You have to give me a reason to really honestly spend 300 to 500 hours on a console.
It's a
outside
cumulative
of my
thing,
main.
I think. So over time, as more of that stuff comes out, I think
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
probably-
Exactly. And I mean, that's what it's about. It's not, needless to say, it's not to say that, I would never get it or I'm not. It's just like the PlayStation 5. I'm going to do it the same way I did with the PlayStation 4. I'm going to wait for a game that's going to make me say, I need it. And that's when I'll get the PlayStation 5. No sooner, no later. Until then, I mean, I have everything that I need now, especially with the way that they're moving it, with the way that we're moving into the future with gaming, with what Xbox is doing. And being an Xbox fan, they're implementing so many things to the point where we're being given not only more options, but we're also being given more. There's 23 studios now, plus more so closer to 30 if you want to separate some of those teams for the different games that they're making. And where we're going with things, there is such a huge, like, I know people get stuck on, Xbox is always Xbox on the waiting game, except this time the waiting game is completely different. This is a whole different parallel of a waiting game. Now we're just waiting for games to come out that are from our first party. But it's just one of those things. I'm so invested in the service, and it's the same thing why I understand why Sony guys feel the way that they do. When you're so invested in a service, you've dedicated so much time, you spent so much money, you have friends that you play games with, you're in parties with every day. You're accustomed for things to be a certain way, and then when you go over to the other side, maybe things aren't the way that you like them to be, aren't what you're used to, and a lot of times things when people aren't used to things, that's what turns them off. it's just one of those things. I mean, I think Boom has made a great statement too. He's even said that he think this is going to be a generation where it's going to be a huge secondary console generation. You're either going to have a PlayStation or an Xbox. It's going to be there. Whereas before it was like, one or the other. Now it's going to be like, yeah, man, I got both.
You need both.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest difference. So
I think
what you said. Oh, sorry.
No. Sorry, Lupa. You go. Come on.
I was just going to say what Steele said is so true, because I felt sad for all those children that saved up, can only maybe get one game a year,
exactly.
or their parents can only afford it, and then to be let down so badly with Cyberpunk or a game of that ilk that's just not up to par. They can't even play it. Like Cold War just crashes on them all the time. I just feel so sad that that's happened, because not everybody can afford it like us, and not everybody, all the children whose parents can only afford them one game for Christmas, or their birthday. It's just so unfair. And that's why I hope that all consoles, all corporations of the consoles, and let's put it that way, kick up their release and dev studios, kick it up, so that they don't do that anymore. And we go back to, let's face it, years and years ago when you got a game, it was a completed game. You don't have all these day one patches and all these problems that need to be sorted. They should be given the time to complete the game, and they shouldn't slack on it either. They should put the time in to make the game perfect.
The question is, though, how much time is enough time? Because like Cyberpunk, they had how long? So it's crazy. At the same time, like, you don't want to be safe in the absence of ambition, because you're afraid to have problems, right? So like with the lawsuit going on with like Cyberpunk, like what if that sets a precedent? Like where they lost all this money in this lawsuit. Now every game publisher is afraid to make a super ambitious game that takes 7 years, and they don't know what the final outcome is going to be, right? So like this, playing it safe is also dangerous, But I agree with you, like like Nintendo has that gold standard, but they're also developing games on weaker hardware that is maybe easier to have stabilize, or they're not pushing as cutting edge technology. Like
they're only
Cyberpunk.
developing for one device,
right? Cyberpunk's being made for like 9 things, and they're implementing a whole lot of new technology that's never been used before and everything, and it was crazy ambitious, right? Now they're getting punished for it heavily, but ultimately, a few years from now, everybody will be like, "Oh, that was an amazing game," right? But so it's crazy.
Game in the first place.
And
who were we playing with last night that said that every time they load, was it Psycho? Every time they loaded Cold War, it crashed, still couldn't play it, or it might have been Tushy. I can't remember, but one of them said it. It's still crashing every time they load it. It's just that's just not good enough.
Yeah, but you gotta. So like Cyberpunk's getting crapped on, but nobody's talking about Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, the other side of that is, okay, it's crashing, but is it Call of Duty? Is there an issue with his brand new console? Because if it's not as widespread, you have to start narrowing things down. Why is it crashing? For a while, it was crashing in for everybody at one certain level. Okay, then they knew. Okay, we got to go fix that. See why it's doing that.
So can I also say, because nobody is talking about this, Kingdom Hearts 2, right? Those on the games. Kingdom Hearts 3 was taking 10 years in development. People are not talking about that stuff. Like the games that were way longer in development than just Diablo 3. Holy shit! Diablo 3 came out 15 years ago. 15.
See, but I think what. Sorry to interrupt, Flamish, but I just wanted to say real quick while it was fresh in my mind. But I think the advantage that Cyberpunk kind of has, or CD Projekt Red has overall, is that they are known to they only make one game at a time. It's not like they're working on one game and working on another game. And I feel like that's what people are really honed in on. They announced the game at this time, and then it's been all this time. Nobody knows how long the game has actually been in development. There's people saying that, it's only been in development for 4 years.
7.
That would explain a lot, especially accounting everything that's going on this year. kind of going off on a side tangent, something that I really think, I know as us as gamers are very entitled and everything, and I know that people like to, people try to say, oh, we got to stop blaming COVID. Oh, it didn't stop everybody else, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that goes into development that people are used to being next to each other for that cannot be adjusted. That they have to wait hours for now, and that makes a huge difference when it comes down to development. And I don't want to say that's the reason. No, I mean at the end of the day, the game needs at least 6 more months. As somebody that has completed the game after 45 hours. The game needed 6 months more work. The game has problems, but the problems it definitely on the older hardware, but the problems don't necessarily outweigh what the story is. I feel more so that people are overexerting their energy on this title just because of how much hype was put behind it. And it's a problem because it's the only game that they're making. But guess what? In 6 months, all this talk isn't going to be here anymore. We saw it with The Witcher 3, and it's crazy to me that nobody else is thinking about that. Witcher 3 had problems. Sure, you could say, oh, they're not as bad as this is. It's not as bad as Cyberpunk. But guess what? It had problems. And guess what? 6 months to a year later, the game was great. So many people have said, oh, man, that's my game of the generation. Oh, man, that's such a great game. And guess what? The game didn't release like that. And that is a problem.
It was so good of a game that now everyone's forgotten how bad it was when it released.
Exactly.
Yeah, but people like CD Projekt Red wasn't even a household name then, so they had a lot more like forgiving of them at that time. Like, let's say an indie game comes out and captures everybody's hearts right now, and it's a huge surprise. Everybody's like, "Wow, this is amazing!" But it's got a lot of bugs and it's kind of flawed. Okay, look at what was a game like on the Xbox 360. It was kind of like Twin Peaks, right? That was like super broken and buggy as hell, but everybody loved it because it was like an amazing story and everything. No, not Alan Wake. This was like it's a Japanese guy that made it. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's a cult classic now, and everybody just sung the praises of this game. But it was like for ugly, broken, laggy, and like just problems all over the place. But people forgave it because it was such a gem that came out of nowhere, right? Now, that's exactly what you're talking about with hype, right? People have these expectations.
Exactly.
Now, the expectations, you can also say, are set by CD Projekt Red with their marketing and everything, right? So they didn't set the right expectations, and that's part of the problem.
That's the main problem, honestly. If you really want to look at it.
And can I just say real quick while it's on my mind, real quick? You mentioned COVID. People don't realize that from a development standpoint, those little cubicle meetings people have, when they're working on something, and hey, Bob, come check this out. They'll just look right to you. They can't do that now.
Yeah.
Instead of taking 5 seconds, it now takes 5 hours.
Yeah.
Bob's off doing something else.
True.
Yeah, I did mention that also, and it's like Psychonauts. It was Psychonauts with Call of Duty. Him and Huss were playing on GBTB, and he was on the Series X, and Huss was on the One X, and both of them were crashing. So it's definitely a game issue and not a console issue.
Can I also say, guys, I just looked it up because I know I was somewhat right. The first trailer of Cyberpunk came out January of 2012 or 13. Sorry,
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
That was 2013. So that's already 7 years, actually 8 years almost, right?
But that doesn't mean that the game was in development for that long.
That was a trailer.
Yeah, but the trailer means that the game has post-production, so it's already been in development since then. So that game has at least almost eight years that's been in development. Okay, it's been scrapped multiple times probably over the course of that because they didn't feel something was right, or there were a lot of problems with the game, the tech wasn't there that they wanted for it, but that's what it is.
For sure. And I don't want it to be. It's not at least for myself, I don't want to use it like as an excuse. Oh, they didn't have enough time. I mean, boom, you could say that they had enough time.
They can
At
have
the
as
end all to
much
be
time
all,
as they
like Mav
want.
was saying, it's the marketing. At the end all to be all, it's the fact that the game was released and it was not finished. It was not running well on base consoles, like you said it was. It's the reason. It's like you're lying for nothing. What are you lying for? People, you already have the favor of the people. You don't have to lie. You don't have to be dishonest. You can be, if you were 100%, if they would have kept it 100% real, sure, people would have complained. But guess what? When that game dropped in the middle of in the beginning of the summer, we would have been all hyped because the game would have been exactly what we needed to be.
Well, maybe they were lying to the stockholders. I hate to say that. But...
Oh, I mean, yeah, probably. But
with every
again,
company.
that still falls on them though. That I like in 100%. They 100% all the flack that they're getting for it. 100%.
The apology letter was horrible.
Yeah,
also.
that was terrible. That just stacked on top of it. I was just like, are you serious? We don't need that. But again, I mean, it shouldn't have happened, but hopefully this can be a stepping stone at least not only show us, but to show everybody that, hey man, we need to chill out with trying to push out games or trying to force them to push out games. Like for Microsoft, the fact that they have so many studios, I feel like it's so fantastic because it tells me as a gamer that, okay, you have enough content now. Just make sure that it gets the love and care that it deserves.
Yeah, the problem with that too, though, Steel, is like it's not just the people. It's like at the end of the day, there's a lot of money poured into this thing, and at some point, it runs out, and they have to get a return on that.
That's a fact.
And then that weighs into the ambition, right? So, like, how ambitious are you going to be able to actually make a viable product versus actually being able to have a playable product?
Fact.
And that's a decision that's going to be a tough one, and especially if this lawsuit actually happens and they win, and because those things set precedents, right? They set precedents.
Are you talking about that idiot who wanted to keep the game and get his money back?
No, I'm talking about the investors that are actually filing a class action lawsuit against them for misleading them about the quality of the game.
If that if they win. Right? Let's say the CD Projekt Red loses that fight. That's gonna be a really sour pill to swallow for a lot of people because I don't know if CD Projekt Red will survive that.
The ramifications in the gaming industry might be felt too, because, like I said, it sets when you deal with courts and lawsuits, there's precedents that are set, right? So. At what point do the publishers now all of a sudden, okay, we can't take that big of a risk this time, guys, because hey, we're gonna get sued and we know they'll win if we fail on this, right? So the positive would be the precedent would be set to more transparent marketing and actual conditions of the games. The negative would be being afraid to actually have the ambition to create the things in the first place. So that's what I hope that doesn't happen.
Well, and the other thing too will be the answer when all the fans are going win, it's going to be their responsibility. It'll be ready when it's ready. You know?
Exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, what I want to add on to what Mav was saying is because I completely agree. But for example, since let's use Cyberpunk because it's the closest issue that we have at hand. That their issue is management. There's no reason that the game shouldn't be ready at this point. But
that's always the issue.
There's no reason. I mean? Whether it's you know what I'm saying. Whether it's we ran out of money or whatever the case might have been. So, you know what I mean. There's no reason that it should have happened the way that it happened.
And I'll say honestly, we're all talking about this, but it's really not. Comparing it to other games, it's not in that bad a shape to where we should even be having this discussion.
Facts.
A lot of
So,
they haven't got hardly any issues, or one or two, nothing major or game breaking.
Yeah, okay, but let me first go to the chat here because Nuvi's actually making some good points. I do want to point them out. As well. Yeah.
Exactly.
So first of all, Nuvi's saying two things. First of all, I think companies have to fund games. I think it's fun. Games
have fun.
Yeah.
to have fun. Games will, but also give stern deadlines. Otherwise, work isn't optimized. And second of all, every game has timelines when they start building. So do so many miss them? Lack of talent, work ethics, poor leadership, lack of vision. It's also really, if you have heard all the stories about CD Projekt Red, there are some warning signs that leadership isn't great there. There's a lot of crunch and all the other stuff that's going around there. That seems to be, I think, half of the problem of why the game is in such a bad state on the old consoles. That you have all these issues. You don't have all those issues on new consoles, of course, but there's a lot of people that don't even have new consoles. So
the game that you built it for is not working. The system that you built the game for isn't working the way they're supposed to.
Yes, that's probably why they delayed it in the first place.
I think when they think about the new tech coming out and the new console, I think that they suddenly changed their direction, and that's where they went wrong.
I mean, it could be that.
I've just replied to Noof in the chat anyway, but the thing is with game development as a whole, the ideas keep coming until the game ships. Nothing's set in stone. It can change. Let's do this. Let's look at Halo. They decided to change the engine halfway through.
Look at Halo.
If you listen to the if you listen to the Delilah Studios interview that the guys did on Fall Guys,
I was there.
Clowns and Flamish, that's what I'm referring to, the guy who was doing Battletoads just kept changing this, changing that, changing the other. If that was happening within a game like Cyberpunk, it's a lot, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Sure.
Okay, but
You got to take those things into consideration.
Can I say this? And I heard some developers on let's say Dealer's channel, right? On his show and stuff. Game design, like he tells me, and what I've heard from the other developers on there, is set in the beginning of a game's creation. Like with Delilah Studios, it was from the beginning made to be a co-op experience without multiplayer, online multiplayer. Like it was pure couch co-op. There was so they could not even implement that later on if they wanted to, because it was designed to be the other way around. Because it brings a whole lot of new challenges and other things. So what you're saying is not entirely right. They cannot change everything about the game. If they do it, they basically have to start over from the beginning.
I agree, but it was more about the ideas of gameplay and stuff that they like they said they kept bringing in. The gameplay is going to be the same, but if you're sat in, they've had some development issues. If you're sat there thinking, oh, this is what the game's going to do, and one of these geniuses say, what if we do this at this point? Can we do this? Those things delay the game.
Okay.
Apparently, I've not played Cyberpunk, but there is a hell of a lot of stuff going on, is there not?
So there's a lot of people that haven't got those problems. Like Psycho.
What?
Let's get the closing comments on this subject, and then we'll someone gonna end the show, but I have one more question for everyone.
There's like Nufus put in the chat. It's really odd though. 7 Assassin's Creed games this gen, only 1 God of War.
Yep.
Well, because they didn't want to make they had to revise God of War to be what they wanted it to be, and Cory Balrog built it from the ground up as a new type of God of War, because it's not one thing the same like the old ones. Just the only thing the same is Kratos.
There is a lot of work that goes into Assassin's
Origins. Fact.
There is a lot of work that goes into each Assassin's Creed.
Okay, but the Assassin's Creed games are made by different teams. It's not just one team making.
I mean, but not only that, but let's be real. If we want to use Assassin's Creed as one of those measurements, they're just building off of what's already currently existing.
Yes.
Yeah, but the stuff they do for the mapping and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Origins, Odyssey, and
Valhalla are completely different games, and I believe if they hadn't changed the format, it would be a dead franchise right now.
I do want to say Origins and and Odyssey are somewhat the same, just an iteration of like Odyssey is a better iteration of Origins
The
overall.
way they play overall.
Yeah,
It's a different combat system and it's a
Yeah.
different game entirely.
yeah,
It has no
but there's a
connection
lot
to
of
Origin.
assets that are the same if you look at the games. Sometimes when I go into a sequel of a game, there's a lot of things that are exactly the same. Sometimes animations are rehashed, textures are rehashed, that type of stuff, and you do see that in the sequels. So yeah, but that's my take on it. Like that's what
Origins. Origins set up for Origins is where they switched and they set it up then for Odyssey and then Valhalla. And it's completely new combat system and completely new type of story and game.
Right.
And
now
it's
it
a
is, yeah.
completely different thing. But that's what I'm saying. So, but each and every single Assassin's Creed is massive, and there are an awful lot crammed into it, and you know they've done an amazing job, in my opinion.
The next God of War is 100% going to be built on this same technology. I mean, they're not going to rebuild the game and reboot it again. You know what I mean? It's just the way it goes.
It's gonna look the way the last one did.
Franchises go, isn't it? They
It's gonna
follow
look better
on
than the last one.
with a different story. But the thing that Assassin's Creed did was switch up the combat each time to try and find the combat that everybody's happy with. Because some people were saying the combat in the old Creeds that it wasn't good enough, and then they were saying Origins it was okay, but meh. And then now Odyssey is like most people I know who are Creed fans would say in the new generation of Assassin's Creed, Odyssey rules.
Yeah, I think 100% the new
Odyssey
Assassin's
rules,
Creed games all have their own unique flavor, and that's
Yes.
and more than just style, but in gameplay as well. So and story. So they're unique enough. But
I went back and played part of Assassin's Creed 3, and the controls are totally different.
I don't think they're Assassin's Creed games, though. I think they should have just created a new franchise.
No,
you know,
this is
like
not-
called World Traveler of History. Like I don't know what the hell they could call it, but it's not Assassin's Creed.
I can even say to this that Phoenix Rising actually also sort of an Assassin's Creed game because it has all the same elements.
Yeah, but that's my point. The minute that I think it was Montreal finished Odyssey, they just started previously to that, about a month previous to that, on Phoenix. So there's 8 games actually that Ubisoft have brought out in that style, and there are multiple studios in Montreal, Quebec. I think there's one in Italy, one in Ireland, I believe.
Yes.
Like there's so many, I can't remember them all off the top of my head. I'm not that good, but there's quite a few. But with the Odyssey, that's what cottoned me onto Phoenix. Those that long time ago, because I knew that the same team that made Odyssey was making it, and I knew then that it would be a type of Creed. It's sort of half Creed, half Breath of the Wild. It's very different. It's like a new IP really for that genre of type of game being on Xbox and PS. So it's like something like Zelda that you would get on Nintendo, but more in depth, more of a story, and it is so funny. So funny. It just makes you laugh out loud, and I just love it. And they can bring out those games. Yet PlayStation, one God of War. So I get what Noof's saying.
Yeah,
There's another
But there's
Assassin's
also-
Creed game that came out that a lot of people's game of the year. You could say it was Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say that's a Japanese Assassin's Creed.
They have a sort of a Japanese Assassin's
They
Creed.
ripped off
I do
Assassin's
agree.
Creed.
Might as well be.
I do agree. Yeah, I do agree. It is a really nice stealth game that has also about liberation and stuff like they have the motto in Assassin's Creed. But yeah, there's a lot of games like that. Even you could argue that Legion from Watch Dogs is like the Assassin's Creed from the modern age. So
It's more like GTA. Honestly.
Yeah, that's more like GTA. I
It's more
agree
like
too.
GTA.
yeah, okay, but it has
All
the
the
same
electronic
elements
stuff and
with the
everything.
liberation and all the stuff. and with electronics like hacking and stuff. I would.
I mean,
say
yeah, it's like
sort
futuristic
of.
GTA. It turned.
I bet
it turned me
Ubisoft
off.
are mad. That's what I say. I think
Yeah.
Ubisoft are mad because I think that was the next Assassin's Creed they were planning on doing. Something very, very similar. Because everybody in the Creed family wants, the community wants a Japanese Assassin's Creed.
And guess what?
Yeah, because we had the little side ones, which were India, Russia, and China. And they were brilliant, actually, in their own right. If you've never played them, you really need to have a go because they're side-scrolling 2D, but they are so good.
I've got them, never played them.
Have you never played it? Oh, you really should. And Liberation.
You should.
And now if they
Liberation.
make one, they're going to be copying off of Ghost of Tsushima. Everybody's going to say.
Yeah, and I thought that actually Ubisoft had that in the pipeline long before.
I believe it.
I don't agree because if you look at what Assassin's Creed always builds up, it's like they bring the history to life. I know that Ghost of Tsushima is just playing on the little island, right? But if we're talking about China and you're looking at back in the day, there were a lot of cities that had like these high buildings and like these markets and stuff. So I think they could do something very special if they go to China one day. I really hope they do.
Anybody excited about this Prince of Persia remaster?
No. After
it
seeing
looks like
what they're doing with it,
think about it.
No,
Think about
they need to keep it. They need to hold on to it.
So
I think they should cancel that thing.
The last question I want to ask everyone on the panel, right? What's your biggest expectation for 2021 before we end the show? Well, we'll start with Steel.
Oh, I was going to tell you mine's going to be really obvious just because it's a game, it's a brand that I've just grown up with, that I cannot ever get enough of because of the world, because of the way that the story has developed up to this point. And it's one of those franchises that once it comes out, it demands attention. And I'm going to say Halo Infinite.
Okay.
That is the one thing that I'm most excited for 2021.
Mav don't have to, I know that's his.
Mav?
Oh, geez. What am I going to pick?
Halo?
I don't know, man.
Halo?
Yeah, 100% Halo Infinite. I wish it was already out right now, but it's not. That's okay. I can wait. I'll be patient, little boy. I'll wait for my Halo Infinite. It'll come out next year, and it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to play the shit out of that game.
Exactly.
And hey, we're all going to have a great time playing that together, I guarantee you.
Okay. Clowns.
Probably Far Cry. That looks really good.
That's a good one, man.
Oh yeah.
Back to the jungle.
They do something completely different this time.
No, take it back to the jungle, to the Far Cry roots where it belongs. Get it out of Tibet. Get it out of Montana. Stick to the jungle islands. That's where Far Cry deserves to be, and it's where it's.
There could be a lot of jungle in that game if you think about it. Where it takes.
What's
place.
that?
Could be a lot of jungle where it takes place.
Oh, that's going back to the jungle. That's where they said, that's why I'm excited about it.
I actually don't know a lot about Far Cry 6. I'm trying to stay off any news about it because I don't want to know. Actually, when
little fact about me is Far Cry might be my it's in my top 5 gaming series. Like that, I'd say Halo, top 3. There's Halo, there's Splinter Cell, and there's Far Cry. I freaking love Far Cry.
I'm not a fan.
I want to say Crysis is a really great franchise for me.
But I will say it's been downhill.
Yeah, now it's been downhill, but the second one, oh my god, that was such a good game.
What game were you talking about?
The second one.
With Baz as the rogue.
I want a new Crysis game. Come on, is that too much to ask in 2021?
Crysis creators were also the original creators of Far Cry.
I didn't know that. That's what's up.
Yep. The Crytek. They made the original Far Cry. Ubisoft bought it from them. Yeah. And then, they make the Cry engine, which was why it's called Far Cry.
Oh, snap.
So it makes you cry.
And they went and they bought the rights to the game from Crytek, and Crytek moved on and made Crysis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Paul, Cerebral,
Yo.
tell me, 2021. What's your
Probably the only game I'm really looking forward to, Dying Light.
Ooh, a good one.
Oh, Dying Light 2, yeah, that has big anticipation for me as well.
Yeah, because I'll play the Halo single player, but if the multiplayer is like the current Halo, yeah, you won't see me there. You won't see- I'm really bad at that game. I'm really.
Yeah, I want to say I love the older Halos more.
But yeah, Dying Light. Dying Light should be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, Lupa.
Well, you're all going to pick the big games, I know. So I'm going for what I want indie game wise, which is 12 minutes and Tunic. Really looking
Is that
forward to
really
those.
your biggest anticipation of next year? Just be
Yeah.
honest.
Good.
It's not
all the
because we
others-
all love the
I've got a
same
list-
games.
I've got a list of about 17. What do you want me to do? Go through them all?
No, the biggest one that you
I'm
want.
All of them. All of them.
You don't have a
I'm
favorite one.
I want all of them, but my biggest anticipation, the one that I am like, hurry up, is Fable. But it won't be out this year.
Oh,
No, that's 3 years.
I
That's
hope
3
it's-
years.
Say it. I know, but
Hey,
that's what
Baruka Salt, you want it all. You want it now. We got it.
I want it
I just-
all, and I want it now.
Okay.
I just hope they do that
okay.
game justice, man. I just hope they do Fable justice.
Oh, please, because
I think they
Fable
will,
Legends
man.
broke
Just
my heart.
if you look at how they handle Forza Horizon, I think they will do justice.
There's a
to
lot. Fable's a different animal, though.
Yeah,
Like, you're
going
talking
from
about,
racing to
Yeah, but they do
you're
put
talking about
they put
story and
love of-
humor and world building and character development. And, like, I'm not.
It's so different, and that's why I'm scared off because Lionhead did such an amazing job, and I'm so sad that that Fable Legends destroyed them.
Well, let me say one
because
thing
it's
about
fantastic.
let me say one thing about Fable. I think they will keep a close eye on that now. Halo has a huge problem that they had. That they will keep a eye on their other franchises as well. So I think we can thank Halo that it will that they will watch the other games that they have in development a little bit closer. Maybe. I hope
Oh,
so.
I'm looking
I hope so.
Medium, by the way.
The what? The medium.
The Medium,
Oh yeah, that comes out in 2 months.
January. Yeah.
That
No,
comes out at the end of
this
January.
month.
Oh, next month. Oh yeah,
Mine's
actually
already
1 month.
pre-downloaded.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm downloaded as well. Just waiting. It's on 10 megabytes at the moment though. Evil.
Hello.
Tell me. Come on.
I wanna second what Mav said. To be fair, 2021 is probably going to be Far Cry 6 for me because I think the iterations have got better and better and better from a performance standpoint. So the bad guys have got better, the stories have got better, and I felt ever so much more engaged with every iteration. And I think this one will be absolutely superb. But
I love
there is a couple of others that I'm hoping might come out. So I'm hoping Bethesda drops something that we don't know that's coming out. So you've got your they've got some that are a few years out, but I'm hoping they drop a massive RPG in there. at some point.
Starfield.
Maybe.
I
But then there
think
was
it will be
also that
honest.
that was it Crimson Desert on the Game Awards.
Crimson
Yeah,
Desert.
that was.
That looked really good as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for Crimson.
I think that's 2021.
Okay, interesting.
So I can't pick
I
one.
have my
I've got three.
eyes on
I'm
that
greedy.
one. We'll see.
I'm greedy. I've taken 3.
Okay.
As greedy as me, I want them all.
Also, has
Who promotes every
anybody
game?
There's new game coming out in January as well, or beginning of February called Werewolves. Have anybody seen that game or heard about it?
Yeah, I remember that. Seeing that thing. Yeah, that looks interesting.
Yeah, being giant werewolf or wolf and stuff and travel the world. Seems interesting. It's not my anticipated game. My most anticipated game is none other than not even Far Cry can topple me. For
Ratchet
me,
and Clank.
yes, actually, one of my favorite games is the Ratchet and Clank franchise on PlayStation. I played them all. Especially Gladiator 1 was such a phenomenal game to me. I love to play that in co-op when it came out. That was a really fun game on PlayStation 2 when it came out. But one of my most anticipated game is that Dark Tide game. That I just love the 40K franchise. I love the Space Marine one. The multiplayer in that was also really fun to play. And I just love Left 4 Dead 2. Like, it's one of my main games I played a lot of on the PC, and I just want a new Left 4 Dead experience. And
So that's Back for Blood, right? That's what you mean?
No! Dark Tide, the 40K franchise.
So that's going to be like Left 4 Dead?
That's also gonna be... you play Vermintide, right?
No.
Okay, so Vermintide 2, which is on Game Pass, by the way, is a game like Left 4 Dead in the Warhammer universe with rats and chaos.
Yeah, I never got into any of these Warhammer games before. They kind of confuse me because there's like so many different ones of different genres, and they're all made by what looks like the same developer, Calypso, and like I don't know like what is what.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Dark Horse Studios are a couple of developers that are actually from Left 4 Dead. So if you love Left 4 Dead, you should really check those out. I will even play them with you. I think Klaus will join us too because we were playing that some time ago. I think that was with Dealer, right, Klaus? That's when we played.
I'd definitely check them out.
Really fun.
Yep.
They're really fun to play with others. Don't play them with bots though. And there are some secret things in the game, like there are books you have to find called grimoires in the levels. And at the end of every level, you get loot, so you can level yourself up a little bit. It's really fun for being just a Left 4 Dead type experience in the Warhammer universe. It's really fun. It's beautiful.
I have a tip. I'd like to give him a tip on this as well.
Yes.
So Mav, when you get into these Warhammer games, if you do play it with us, just watch out for Flamish. He goes way ahead of himself, and it's hard to keep up with him. So you gotta like be prepared and be ready to run when he says, "Let's go, let's go, let's go."
Well, it's also because I know if you stay too long, the big enemies come, and you get a lot of problems with like the tanks and stuff. Like the tank in Left 4 Dead 2, right? It's the scariest thing you have in the game. Just demolishes everything. So if you're not careful, you will die on the higher difficulties. So I'm just basically I have to basically step a little bit down if we're on the easier difficulties, because it's pretty easy for the characters if you're a little bit higher level. Because I played the game already for some time, so yeah. I'm sorry, Klaus. I will probably that will be one of my things in 2021. Don't be as pushy. So guys, with that we come to the end of the last episode till the end of January, because I'm taking a month off to have a little bit more spending time with my girlfriend because she's moving in, and to basically take a break off YouTube just for a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 shows with Clowns, of course. I do want to support them while I'm away. But I'll be still gaming. You can still talk to me. I'm still gonna see at the end of the January to manage some more shows, get people in here. So if you want to come back, just give me a DM. And at that, so talking about DMs, where can people find you, Steel?
All right. Well, Flamish, I want to thank you for having me. And other than that, man, you can find me on Twitter, man. I Steel Rain I. The T is a 7 in this Steel. Other than that, man, on Xbox, the name is the same. Other than that, man, come hang out, come chop it up, anything like that. And I appreciate you for having us on the show tonight, man. It's been an excellent conversation. Definitely put some passion out the end of the year, man. And hopefully when you get things ramped back up, man, I definitely can't wait to hear from you again. Hopefully everything continues to go well. And yeah, let's. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I want to thank you for being here, man. It's
Oh
always
yeah, for sure.
fun to have new people join my show. I just love to have a lot of people on the show. That's one of the things that I do in every party I go into. You want to be on the show? You want to be on the show? You want to be on the show? Hey, come on. Get over here. Fun speculation. Let's go. Where can people find you?
Fun speculation. on YouTube, on Twitter,
You're doing the thing.
It's that high energy map that I love.
Xbox, on Xbox, Mav space 7. 4 Guys with Quarters on Tuesdays. Fridays with my wife, Xbox Ultimate Podcast on the Fun Speculation YouTube channel. Thank you, Flamish, for having me on. This has been an invigorating conversation, and I can't wait to see you back at it in the new year.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit sad without Flemish on every Sunday. What you gonna have to do with the time? that
Play
I'm not
games.
there? Play games. Play games with me, actually.
There you
go. Clowns.
Yeah, well, you can find me on Sundays on the Clowns Experience. It's usually about 5 p.m. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. You can find me on...
I want to see that happen for a month. I want to see that happen for a month. He's going to steal my spot. He's going to be... No, it's a Clowns Experience.
You can find me on 4 Guys with Quarters on Tuesdays, with a lot of awesome people, like that guy from Xbox Ultimate Podcast. I think his name is Mav. Sometimes the Belgian Sensation will make an appearance when he's not busy singing in Europe and doing the Flamish Happy Dance. And then, shout out to Midway and Dreadpool, VJ, and everybody that comes on the show. It makes it a great show and experience. So Tuesdays... 5 to 7 is usually our time slot, and then 4GQ TV News. I don't know what I'm going to do without Flamish because he's been so busy. He hasn't been able to do a news show. He's getting ready with this candy bowl. His girlfriend's moving in over there and somewhere in Europe in a bunker with him. Don't know where it is, but so I'm going to have to just do a news show, Flamish. I'll just call it the News Without Flamish show until you get back, and then. Yeah, and we actually have some pretty cool interviews coming up. So everybody who's listening, I got another DM. This time from another voice actress. Her name's Jackie. She does anime, like One Punch Man. She did that. What's that YV game, Mav? Do you remember the name of that? Yes, that one. She's in that. She's in a lot of stuff. I can't name it all because some of the titles I don't understand. But it's going to be awesome, and I think she also voices a character in Genshin Impact as well. So, yeah, look out for that.
That'll be cool.
Nice. Okay. Cerebral Paul.
Yes, you can find me all over the place. I mean, you can find me at Twitter, of course. And I want to make sure I get these right because each one is different. Not all of us are lucky enough to be able to use our name everywhere exactly. So, on the Xbox, I'm CerebralPaul921. On Twitch, I am Cerebral Paul. On Twitter, I am Cerebral Paul1. Hey, and big announcement right now that I just found out about. Starting this Wednesday, I will be part of the regular cast for Midweek Gaming.
Hey.
Yay.
Awesome, man.
So
Good to hear.
That's my tongue clap your hands moment.
Yeah, he sent me the message a little while ago during this podcast. So
Nice, man.
Tonight, so here we go.
Very happy for you. Very happy for you.
Oh, I forgot some things, Flemish.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. He's still in the spotlight. Let's go.
I know. I got to say it, or somebody might kick you in the booty.
Yeah, you're turning into y'all Yeezy on me, taking my spotlight.
No, when you're done, Paul, keep going.
Go ahead. I'm done.
All right. So, Game Beyond the Box on Wednesdays with Wilmy and the crew and Dr. Fork. and then Primetime Gaming with Mr. Boomstick and Friends, and that Sunday show, Clowns Experience.
Oh, you can take over my show if you want for a month. Like I would.
I don't
Lupa, you
know.
have to call
on
out God's Geeks channel.
Clowns, I'm not doing nothing on a Sunday night through January.
Yeah.
Well, we can still game
And
together.
it's not like he
maybe.
plans anything. So
I
I
don't
mean, you know.
Like I said, I'm still gaming, guys. Not that I'm completely gone off the surface. Like I'm not gonna black out for a month or something. I
The
still gonna
Belgian
be
fell
gaming.
down a black hole.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And Lupa, we're still gonna be
Oh.
talking. So
Of course.
don't worry. Okay, no, Cerebral Paul. I'm very happy for you, man. It's really great news that you're now part of midweek.
Yep.
So congratulations on that, and I hope
Thank
to
you.
see you
Thank you very much.
sometime again, man. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
fun having you. Also, Lupa.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been a really fun discussion. And you can find me on Twitter at AssassinLupa. You can find me on Xbox at AssassinLupa. And I'll catch you all gaming.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm going to be on the community Stubcast sometime.
Hey.
Woo, that's always nice.
Oh, don't forget Lupa Extraordinary
Oh,
Gaming
yeah, sorry.
Podcast.
Me and you've done that now, both. Yeah, and Extraordinary Gaming Podcast every Saturday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. British time. And the others
11
are,
PM? Ooh,
yeah,
wow.
6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. British time, which is right slap bang in the middle of community game night. But there you go, you've got to give up some things.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad, I have to say. I do love the community game out with you, Lupa. I'm gonna miss you there. During
Well,
those
I'm going to
hours.
be there for
Uh,
a couple of hours and I have to leave. It's early, that's all.
It's just that I cannot bump into you with breakfast and stuff. They cannot hear like, damn, you're Flemish.
Cast by Godsgeek at Godsgeek YouTube, and you know I've got to give him my support. He's a great bloke. He made the Extraordinary trailer, the Reborn trailer, and the Mav help me. The second one.
Rebirth, Extraordinary, and Defeat.
Yes,
Defeat.
indeed.
That's it. Defeat. I forgot defeat. Yeah,
The
so it goes
agony of defeat.
yeah, the agony
Yes.
of defeat. Sorry, my bad.
No,
But
it's
yes.
never mind.
Great
That's a
bloke.
joke.
And you know, and I want to support him in every way I can. I think he'll do well.
Also, he has been on my show a couple of weeks ago, so if you want to see about that, he talks about those trailers and what he thought about them and his think process. It was really interesting conversation. So that's
He's
also
Guy,
yeah, he's
and a very nice guy.
yes, indeed. I do have to say that too. Okay, my panel member, Amy Devil.
Hello. Yeah, so first and foremost, thank you to our guests today. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you all. Thank you very much. Again, shout out to the chat. Thank you. It's been interesting. You can find me on Twitter at animated_evil. And you can hit me up on Xbox anytime you want. I play a lot. I am animatedevil857. And hopefully, when Flamish is back at it, I may well be joining him again. Hopefully. Where can people find you, Flamish?
Yeah, first of all, I do want to say, Animated Evil, it's always great having you here. Whatever happens,
Thank you.
You're always here every week. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I hope you will stay for a long time until I stop YouTubing, which will be never, because Flamish doesn't quit. Just takes a break.
I'd like to announce Adam and Evil and the Clowns Experience every Sunday night.
As already discussed, I am free all Sundays in January at the moment.
Johnson at the moment needs a job, don't you, people?
Well, if you want to take over
Yeah.
and see if you want to promote my show a little bit on those days I'm not there, yeah, that's fine.
It's going to be the Animated Evil Experience.
The Animated
coming.
Evil.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The kinky experience.
The kinky. I love
Yeah.
that name. I love that name. If you have one name for the show, it's a kinky experience. That's what I want to try. I will be there to watch. So we'll be there in the chat if you do it.
Maybe one day, maybe.
Okay. Just
I'll
think about
back you up, animated. I'll do it with you.
So you
Oh.
can find me, of course, on my own channel here where you're watching, of course. You can find me on Twitch, on the Flamish Boy. You can find me on Twitter on the Gregory Goivart. Or Klaus. How do you say my name?
Gregory Goiverts.
Yes.
Yeah,
sounds
stuff like that.
so-
It's phenomenal. Almost. 10 points to Gryffindor. Uh...
No.
Wow.
Puff.
Hufflepuff. Yeah, I'm Hufflepuff, so I'm
You're
happy with that. Yeah, I'm
Don't
Hufflepuff.
forget.
Yes.
You can't give me 10 points. I'm Gryffindor.
No, I'm Hufflepuff, so I give 10 points to Hufflepuff for that one. Maybe we'll win at the end of the year someday. So
I don't think so.
yeah, and always on Red Rain Gates, of course, when I do not have an early shift. But like I said, I'm taking a month off, so I will be not there for a month. But it's every Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST on a Graphic God channel or Supersonic Station channel. And he's also taking a break for a while. So it's all Graphic God doing it for now. But yeah, we took a little break from that as well this month. So like I said, guys, for everyone that's on the panel, everyone that's not on the panel in the YouTube chat and stuff, if you want to be on the show, just DM me or I'll DM you and just come on my show. It's always fun, always random, and I will miss everyone not doing the show for a month, of course. So I will be just taking a break, but I will miss everything going on. It's fun every week doing this stuff. And yeah, I do want to say thank you all for being there.
I just noticed, were you playing Ratatouille this whole time?
No, I was playing Pixar Rush.
Okay.
The Rush game is actually Disney Rush, actually. It's a really fun
right.
game. You should
I
try
played.
it. Yeah, get 1,000. Get the 1,000 gamer score.
Right on.
But no, guys,
Way
it was really fun. So this is the end of the show. I'm not gonna do a happy dance. Klaus can probably show that off somewhere next week with me because I'll be still being on his show next week. But yeah, at the end of the week, I'll be disappearing from YouTube for a month. So maybe once or twice with Clowns, doing a new show or we'll see how that goes. We'll see. I'll keep you posted on Twitter anyway. So see you all next time. And like I always said at the end of the show, stay positive and be happy. Bye, guys.
Catch you all gaming. Bye.
Good gaming, guys.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.